blame on the water companies. So the Ministry of Commerce on yesterday held a meeting with the Liberia Water Producers Association, and from that meeting, they came out to a fixed price that water should be sold. According to the Commerce Ministry release, a sack of water should be sold for, let's say, 75, 80, 85, or it should be below 85. That's what they said. And also a bag of water should be sold for $5 as the usual price. So my name is Gabriel Segashaspa, and we are in conversation with the communication head for this organization, who's going to tell us what causes the increase in the prices, how are their productions done, which part of the production is causing the huge amount for which they increase the price. So welcome, sir. Tell us your name.
I'm Joseph Bono Jr. I'm the press secretary to the Liberia Water Producers Association.
Okay. So it is good meeting you today, and basically we have come to gather information for you surrounding the increment in water prices. I mean, can you just tell us what causes the immediate cause of the increase in the prices of water from sack to plastic? Can you tell us?
Well, they are contributed to the increase of water from the Liberia Water Producers Association and its members. We are involved into water production, and quite recently we experienced a hike in the price of gasoline from $750 to $800, from $800 to $1,225, and we are using generators in many of our factories. Our trucks that are going to do delivery, they are also using fuel. So that was an impediment for us. And one of those reasons also is that the many agencies or sectors that are coming to regulate our activities in the water. Let's say, for example, the Monrovia or the Pinsville City Corporation. The Pinsville City Corporation, we are in Johnsonville. We are under the Pinsville. They are charging us $110 United States for one machine. So it means that if I have 5 machines, I'm going to pay $550. If I have 10 machines, I'm going to pay $1,100 United States dollars, and that is another burden. Our folks at the EPA, we were paying $225 United States dollars previously
For a machine?
Then, yes, no, not for a machine, but for our permit to operate.
Oh, okay.
And then they are now telling us that we should test the water to a third-party laboratory, and one of those third-party laboratory is a University of Liberia lab. And that is costing us another $250 United States dollars, amounting to $475. Not only that, we also have Amphill. Amphill is testing water also, and we are paying to Amphill on a quarterly level. So for the whole year, we are paying about $600 US, and that is not only that. Even the Wash Commission. Wash Commission is charging us per category machine. And based on that, we are spending a lot of money, and these agencies, we have talked to government so that they can come together for a one-stop shop that we will be able to pay every fees through the Liberia Revenue Authority. And the Vice President of Liberia, we had a meeting with him, and he called these agencies with Mo Ali, the EPA, Ministry of Commerce, the Liberia Business Association was also in that meeting. And then we made, our plight known to them. And since then, we have not heard anything. What broke our back was when Duraplast, who is the producer of plastic in the Republic of Liberia, they increased their price for Rhoda, and that was very hard for us. So we as an association, we decided to have several meetings to see how best we can do. So we came up with a price of $90 for us to produce water, and that started on a Tuesday, and then from there we decided to move ahead. And the Ministry of Commerce also called us.
Okay, so let me hold you there before we get to your meeting with the Ministry of Commerce.
Yes.
That is, I believe that was a major discussion you had. We want to focus on your production. How is your production being done? You talk about electricity challenges, talking about taxes you pay to other institutions. I mean, you say how much you pay to PCC.
But the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation has also requested water producers to pay bills because they are telling us that they want to tap our wells with meter boreholes, not water and sewer, but borehole wells with meters, so that we can be able to pay the government, because according to them, the national, how they call it, the National Mineral Development Act that was passed quite recently is saying that water is a resource. So in as much as we are tapping water, we should be able to pay, and that discussions have been ongoing. We have met the managing director of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation, Mr. Mo Ali, and then we had our first meeting. We are supposed to go, we can find a common front reference to that issue. And there's another group that they call the Labrador Standard Authority under the Ministry of Commerce. They are saying that they have the statutory responsibility to ensure that they test water. Then we have the National Food Agency. They submitted their act quite recently to the Labrador Water Producers Association, and they are also saying that they are coming to test water. So how many persons will, you see? So that is an impediment for us. It's creating problem. It's creating hardship for water producers in the country. And because of that, there are many companies that are already shutting down because of methane, or they cannot meet up with what's being spent in the water sector.
Okay.
So it gets into the machine and for bagging. And the bags that we are using is being produced by the Duraplas suckers, which are called operators, 50 pieces of water in that. So you go through all of that process from there before you get it on the car. You load it on the car, and then the car goes to distribute. So we told them, you know, the challenges that we are faced with, coupled with the increment in fuel, the increment in gasoline, what being currently for our workers. We are paying salaries, we are paying hard taxes, and we told them that is why we went up to the $90. And the minister said that it is their statutory responsibility to have prices, you know, on the Labrador market. And we told them yes, why it is your statutory responsibility, but we are working in the confines of what we have on the books, because the books says that water should not be more than $1 So that was why we had it, but we had a negotiation, and then they told us that yeah, this is a situation, and where we are now, this is, you know, a national issue. We all need to work together to see how best we can resolve this issue. So after several hours of negotiation and dialogue, we saw it necessary that based on some of our demands that we put to them, you know, they are met, then we can see how best we can have a shift.
What demand? What condition?
What the demand is that the Duraplas, that they should speak to Duraplas to reduce the cost of the rotors that we buy from them, the materials that the plastic we buy from them, and also those entities in the water sector like EPA, the WASH Commission, and other entities that are responsible for water testing and what have you, AMFIL, they should come together, reduce what we are paying, and then it be a one-stop shop that we renew. And then they told us already that they are working on that. The issue of the taxes that we are paying, or those entities that we are paying money for, or monitor.
Are you proposing paying tax to only the LRA instead of
not only tax to LRA, but all of the EPA fees, the fees from WASH Commission, the fees from AMFIL, you know, let them put all together, and then we can pay into the revenue of government and let those entities, in terms of inspection, when EPA comes to inspect, after EPA leaves, then you see Wash Commission will come. After Wash Commission leaves, you will see another entity, including the Liberia Fire Service. Okay, they are coming for inspection. All of these things, we are paying several fees, and our production is decreasing. Most of our factories are closing. So as a result of that, let there be a one-stop shop. And that, they told us, yes, they have worked on it. They have put into place the necessary mechanisms of which, they will be announcing to us that we'll be able to curtail all of those, issues I will propose. Then they told us that they were going to contact Duraplast. In fact, they made a phone call to Duraplast to reduce their plastic costs, and then Duraplast agreed to reduce their costs. So that's how we arrived.
So how much?
We are proposing $2.80.
How many dollars Duraplast sell the plastic?
I told you that Duraplast sell the plastic. Some are paying $3.30, and some are paying $3.10 as a result of the current, increment. So they have negotiated, they have talked to them according to them, and they agreed to come down with the price for the rollers that we are buying from them, the plastic material that we are buying from them. That based on these things and in the negotiation, and they have committed themselves that they were going to work in that line, then we agree. After several consultations, we agreed that yes, we will take the $5 from the $90. We will go to the $85. $85. We did not come up with any decision that we will say less than $85.
But that's what I saw in the release.
We, from the Liberia Water Producer Association that had a meeting yesterday, it is 85 Liberian dollar per sack of water. That's what we are setting. Now, we are setting $85 Liberian dollars.
But not more than 85.
Not more than $85.
Okay.
So even for us, we advise our association members that sell at $85. Sell at $85, not above $85. Because if you sell above $85, it means that it is a violation, and we ourselves as an association, we will be on the field monitoring because we are partners to government, and then those that will violate, we will take decisive action against them, because we don't want for this price or this arrangement they are made with the government to go the other way around. We expect everyone to keep our agreement, to keep our bargain, so that we can move forward reference to the water. And this $85 is a sustainable price just for us to be in the market. A long-term solution, a long-term proposal for the water sector. So it's not because prices will increase today, then we increase our production or we increase the price. No, that is not what we want. But we want for we and government to sit down through the Ministry of Commerce, and these are sectors that are responsible for water production, for us to have a long-term solution to the water sector in the Republic of Liberia.
Okay. So before we conclude, I want to know, and many people watching will have this concern as well. Now that you've come to agreement with the Ministry of Commerce to sell the water sack $85.
Yes, $85.
Not more than $85.
Not more than $85.
What measure have you put into place to ensure that your member companies are abiding by this regulation?
Well, even besides us putting the measure, we are organizing a task force that is also going to with others, so that we can make sure we officially monitor our member organization. And besides that, beginning on Monday, that's why we are using the stickers. These stickers come from the Liberia Water Producer Association, and then every vehicle that will be out there should have a sticker from the Liberia Water Producer Association. Those that will be or that will not have these stickers, that means that they are in violation. So we will take decisive action against them. And also the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Commerce, also have the responsibility to regulate them also, to make sure that they have the agents on the field, they have the inspectors on the field that are selling water we sell according to what we have discussed.
So that means if I go to buy a bag of water, I will be charged $5 right now.
Well, water is $5,
right
and
now.
It beats our imagination to see why people were selling water for $10. because the Liberia Water Producer Association has not authorized or did not authorize anybody to sell water $10. Let's look at the case study. Water sachet or the sack of water has 30 pieces, and then we were selling at the rate of $80 or some $75. And then if you bought from us $75, you make it cool, you will sell it for 100 or 3 for 10. So they that will buy it, they sell 1 for 5. So it means that they were making $75 profit. Okay. But we say, okay, all of the $75, we will take $10. And then you will buy your water at $90. You will sell 5 for 20 to the people out there. Then it means that you get $120. So if you get $120, those that are buying from you, they will sell and they will have $30 profit. So we look at it, from that level. So why should somebody sell water? You buy water for $90, you sell the water for $10. You are going to generate about $300, and you pay $90, so you are getting $210 as a profit. That is cheating. So our association, does not condone such a thing. And we believe that those who are responsible and they continue to sell water on the Liberian market for more than $5, it means that those people are in violation. They can be arrested and prosecuted.
What's your parting comment as we take leave of you?
Well, my departing comment is that we believe the government of the Republic of Liberia, in as much as they have come up with this bargain in the negotiation, we expect them also to meet up with it, and that we believe, because that is the government. This is a responsible government also. They will do that, and then we will keep our side of the bargain. We will keep the price as it is, pending.
That what Lofa, on our administration, what Lofa has done. From what I say today, since 1964, Lofa did not win in a cup. They were not even considered most time as a serious team in the county league. But since our senator and our administration, with collaborating with the county authorities, the stakeholders, the mobilization committee, and all of those, because it can't be a one-person thing. It's a collective workings. Yes, I was the leader, but I had to bring everybody on board. The unity I brought on table there, allow everybody to participate. Whether you came from Unity Party, whether you came from CDC, whether you came from the opposition, we saw Lofa as one because of the unity we brought, the leadership we brought. And today, Lofa can boast of having 2 football trophies, 2 kickball trophies, and 2 basketball trophies. Just on the short period of time I took over. So then later on, we said we need trophy. I saw that Lofa County, there was a lot of young people in Lofa County that was talented. It would be wasted. But you know why? Just rather than waiting for the county meet before we start to spot players, let's be organized a 3rd division team to start to spot players. That one went very well. We had the first division with Nime Waragizi. You know, Waragizi is a sample of Lofa County. When you say Waragizi, it refers to Lofa County. So we named the team Waragizi, meaning that this was for Lofa County. It's not my personal thing. I wasn't very selfish to say Saros FC or I said this is Waragizi, meaning that it was for Lofa County. And today we came from 3rd division to 2nd division. Matter of fact, last year we won the 2nd division trophy when we got promoted to the 1st division. We'll be beating big teams today. We are among the first 7 teams, big teams in Europe.
So it's currently a 1st division team?
Yes, Waragizi is fighting a 1st division. Not just a 1st division, but a very strong 1st division team that has been beating big teams. Can you imagine?
What did Momosara would say?
But can you imagine, man, we beat teams like Fasea, we beat teams like Queensway FC, we beat teams like Leska. We beat them. Waragizi beat those teams. Those are teams that got history in the football league. We beat them all.
Waragizi is a typical lawman. I know we always there's a
it's a lawman name. It's a lawman name.
What does that mean?
Well, it portrays the mountain that we have there.
Okay.
It's a lawman name.
Waragizi
Yes,
FC.
yeah, FC. Yeah.
So you are the president.
I'm the president and CEO, the founder of Waragizi FC.
Where are you now in the 1st division league?
Where we're ranking, I think 7. But we have 22 teams in the league, and I think we're ranking 7 now.
You think it's a good place?
We're first time in the league with the big names. Yeah, I think we're doing very well. Yeah, I mean, this is our first time. I mean, all of the leagues has their own challenges. Now, to leave from 7th division to come to 1st division is a different ball game, a different scenario. But for us to be among the first 10 teams, I think that's
You started from 10.
Yeah.
Was that a recruitment of people on the ground there in
on the
Lofa?
ground, grassroots, and that's one of the reasons why we are. The grassroots is very key in football administration. I went for the 3rd division because I needed to have the grassroots. Some people who play the 3rd division are with me today in the 1st division.
Really?
Yes, we have players who play the 3rd division, 7th division. Today they are playing 1st division, and a lot of them has been spotted for international assignments. So that's what we're doing.
Are you thinking about forming another team?
Well, yes. Looking at all the dynamics, I'm interested in having a female team. A female
football team.
Yes, because I mean that's something I want to invest in.
Do you have the support of the Lofa people for this Wologisi FC?
Oh wow! I mean it's overwhelming. I mean, this is the Lofa people's club, and they are supporting it 100%. Matter of fact, this is the first team ever from Lofa County that has gone 1st division, not even 7th division. So this team is making a lot of progress because Lofa is now transforming on the football side. Because Lofa before we were all just after agriculture, too much boy. We were when they say graduation, every graduation Lofa was tapping. Good. Lofa was the bread basket to Nima Tokyo for because they had better roles. But we're getting there anyway. Now football wasn't the Lofa thing. But now football is the Lofa thing now. With us still spearheading football in Lofa, Lofa has become a football county. When you talk about county meet, Lofa is counted among the first 3 counties. In fact, when Lofa is not playing, the fee is empty. So, I mean, on our leadership, by the wisdom of God and the collaboration of all the Lofians and stakeholders, Lofa has become a football county.
Where do you intend to take Wologisi FC? What's your vision?
Well, the highest league is the 1st division we're there. What we want to do now is to make sure that most of our players can have international assignments. Because you can't go beyond the 1st league.
Yeah.
So now we are at the apex of football in Liberia. But we hope that most of our players can have an opportunity to play in international matches. Now, I got 2 of my players on the national team.
Really?
Yes.
On the senior national team?
On the senior national team, the goalkeeper, my goalkeeper is one of the goalkeepers on the national team.
What is he?
Junior Yoni. Is my
okay, the junior Yoni guy.
Yeah, that's
what.
He's one of Wologisi FC. That's what we contribute. That's how we contribute to football in this country. Imagine a Lofa team, and now has a team. In fact, most of when we come to the county team, most of the people who play for the county came from Lofa. Like that boy Emmanuel Flomo came from Lofa. I mean, you just name it. Many times we have produced players from Lofa to the national team. Joe Quinn from Lofa. So we are happy today to be here to discuss further.
And we'll talk about that executive committee thing. Are you working with Lofians abroad holistically to say, you know what? Yes, I'm ahead, but the thing is not a Momo Sarah thing. That's why it is a Wologisi. What can you people do over there? You can send Jesse, you can send Butch.
That's the, it takes time for people to buy in, especially this kind of thing. So Wologisi, yes, everybody like this is Lofa team when it comes to the financial support. It's square to be me alone with very few persons. But like I said, we got in the 1st division. There will be a lot of engagements. Most people want to see you progress and doing better before they join in. Even the very football, the very county meeting, many times during the preliminary rounds, people don't normally support you. Mm-hmm. But when you come to quarterfinal, semi-final, that's when you see people wearing GSA, you see people going to fee when it comes to final. So, but for the initial stage, that's what makes the issue of economy very, very, very interesting. People don't know your history. People don't know your spending history, where you come from. But when they see the team at the level of quarterfinal, semi-final, and final, you see everybody jumping on the feet. No, that's not what they jump on the feet. The thing about it is when you talk about recruitment, the way Lofa has come up, and one of our strategies is that we do very good recruitment. I start recruiting, said normally by August, September, we start recruiting.
Really?
Yeah, because we know that the academy is coming in November, December. So by August, September, we spotted. By September, we recruiting. By latest September or first week in October, we already got a team exercising. And that is where Lofa has always in the last few years, I've always been marked because we don't wait for the last minute
Do
recruitment.
you support any team in Europe? Any club, right?
Unfortunately, no. I'm not the European kind of.
You're not that kind of guy.
No, I'm not. You know, some people get something strange. You want young man. You
You
want
so
man.
what into football?
Yeah, you know,
and then-
football. But because I don't see why I get even order there. I mean, give me my loan
Let me
start.
get for your happiness.
No, give me my loan start. Give me my Waragizi. Give me my local team. But that's what people can do. Waste their time. Arsenal. This and that. I mean, I don't have any problem with it, but I don't have time for that.
Okay.
I don't have
Let's
a
move
meeting.
now. The Liberian Football Association goes to election this weekend. You're contesting as an executive committee member.
Yes.
What is it when you say executive committee member? What I just want to have a little
So the
idea.
executive committee is the highest decision making of the Liberian Football Association. We have a president. There's a president, but that committee that's comprised of 11 presidents more is the most highest decision making body of the Liberian Football
Like the
Association.
plenary.
That's the plenary. That's the nuclear of football. That's where the decisions are made. And we feel that we're supposed to be on that table like yesterday. Considering our involvement in sports, considering our interests and considering our ambitions and everything, the way we want to take football to another level, not just on the club level, but the country level, we got to be on that. We got to be around that table.
Who votes? I mean, I'm just thinking because you have many, and I think how many presidents do they want?
Well, they're doing about 11 presidents.
11 presidents.
Yeah,
And
but
then you have many. So how is the election done? Is it Momosa going against Clarence or Paul against? I mean, I'm just
so
thinking.
the way it's done, we have stakeholders, people who own clubs and people who have stakeholders. I mean, there's a list of delegates,
Oh.
of voters, people who are eligible to vote. So those people will vote for all the people who contested. There must be 11% that comes from that particular number. that
So
we
meaning
get.
that at the moment
You get the highest-
the elections commission got qualified candidates
Yes.
who want to be executive committee members.
Yes,
Oh.
I think we are mounting to about around 20%.
So that the higher vote
yes,
they
if I,
do it like that.
the higher votes would be the executive. So if you don't have team certain number of vote, you will not be eligible to serve as a
So that club presidents can vote for
club
you.
presidents or secretaries or affiliates, the women clubs, I mean, women football clubs. They are all stakeholders, different. In my mind, if I'm right, it's supposed to be around 40 some stakeholders that will have to vote.
Why do you think it should be a Momosaurus as executive committee member?
3 reasons. One, because Momosaro have invested into sports. He has the love for sports. He wants to see Liberia football elevated. 2, my loafer business, you can't play with it in my blood. Let me talk the Liberian way. When I come to loafer, that's my blood. I mean, loafer needs to be at that table, at that level. And I think I'm the best person. Oh, we got 1 or 2 Lofans that are there doing well, but I think they need additional voice. And that loud voice would be me, who comes to that table and make those sound decisions and be part of a team that will elevate football in Liberia.
Third reason.
The third reason would be that I intend to look at football in another form, especially the women football. I think they need to be more supported than they are right now. And so the big news is that if I'm elected as a committee member, there is something that calls city fee or pool fee or whatever it is. It's supposed to serve for 4 years. Clarence, I'm making this commitment today.
You're on radio.
Yes. That if I become an executive committee member.
But you're talking how? So other people can hear it. That commitment, I want to hear it.
This is the commitment I'm making this morning to the Liberian Football Association. I want to see the women football being elevated and supported. If I am elected as an executive committee member, I'm supposed to serve for 4 years. During my 4-year terms, all of what LFA is supposed to give me as an executive member, I would donate it to the Women Football Association.
You give it.
I will give it up to make sure to improve women.
100%.
100%. I'm not taking a dime for the next 4 years.
You don't even know how much. Maybe a plenty of you.
I don't care how much is it. I'm not going to the Liberian Football Association for money. I'm going there to lend my support, my assistance to those who will be there, the collective workings. That's what I'm going there for. For the resources like money, no. I mean, I don't have money, but I don't need the Liberian Football Association money. What I would get as my own entitlement, will go to women to develop women football in Liberia. For the next 4 years, that will be serving. It's a commitment. Take it from me. It's a commitment.
Wow.
Yes. I wouldn't take a dime from the Liberia Football Association. I'm entitled to an honorarium or some form of fees, but I'm saying I will direct those fees to improve women football. Look, women football around the world now is making a lot of history. Our guys are right now out there doing very well. They need more support than what they have right now. The talent is in this country. We have to support them, develop them, and expose them.
What's your vision for grassroots football, for example?
It's very
You are
important.
now a team owner, so we can
But
talk about
if I started from third division, it means I love ground. Look, that is where the talent is. That is where the talent is. We have so much talent in this country, Clarence, but the opportunity aren't there. And so grassroots football is something that we've been looking at. It's something I want to invest money into because the children are playing those football in those communities. If you spot them and develop them, they will play international matches and Liberia will be proud. So grassroots football is something that we look at very keenly when we get elected as committee chairperson. I mean, that's on the executive committee of the Liberia Football Association.
From all indications, before coming to this stage, you've been talking with club presidents, you've been talking to people around. Are they life for you? Do you see a star?
It surprised me. It surprises me, Clarence, when I talk to people and say, Cyrus, please go and campaign somewhere. You already know you don't need to campaign to me.
Really?
I mean, I've had people when I call them, hey, Cyrus, what? Don't waste your energy. Please go campaign somewhere else. You got my vote. Why you want to campaign on me? You have already campaigned on me years back. We know what you have done in football. We know your level of support. We know your passion for football. We know your leadership. Why would you want to campaign on me? Go somewhere else. I mean, I've had multiple of engagement and having this room. It's an election. It's number. But I'm so pleased of the kind of reception I'm getting. It suggests that come Friday, May 15, I'll be elected.
You sure?
Very much so.
Sometimes the cause cannot translate into the vote.
Well, the voices I'm hearing,
Okay.
they tell me, say, give me something, I will vote for you. They say, don't come, don't bother. And when you hear an honest voice, it speaks. When you hear a deceptive voice, it shows. So the voices I'm hearing in my mind, from my analysis, they are truly honest voices I'm hearing. They will elect me.
What are your strategies? What do you do to ensure other Lufians can come on board to support financially? Because like you said, sometimes everybody will take this something, but it can be you alone, except you like it that way.
No, I don't love it that way, but for me, success is very important for me. So sometimes I don't let the little things distract me. I let them move ahead and people see my strength and energy and see what I'm for enjoying me. Like I said, I would say this on very few persons will come when it comes to the economy. Very few persons will come from the beginning. Very few persons. But the support base, you tend to expand as you advance in the league. Now, Lofa County has only a single team in the first division, in the first league. That's well reason. We don't even have a second division team right now. If you go to other counties like Nima and other counties, they got first division, got second division, got third division, Lofa. We got third division team and a first division team as well. So other Lofians used to come and grab the opportunity just a lot of. In fact, at the women level, there are almost women, girls that play for the national team that come from Lofa. These are people that were selling in the market for living. When we introduced the women football, we spotted them today. They play international football. They play for the country. So their talent, but I can't do it alone. So, under my voice, other Lofians used to come and support football in Lofa. It can't be me having team. If we have 2, 3, or 4 teams, Lofians with money and we have 4 or 5 teams in Lofa, trust me, the competition will be there.
Can you encourage? How do they call the farmer? Selma.
Selma is there. Selma is my cousin. Selma is my cousin. We grew up together. We live in the same town. He's my cousin. But again, people have interest in different. Yes,
I see him more into agriculture.
Oh, he's a big farmer. He's one of
I
the
know
biggest
that.
former Loafers guys. I mean, I'm very proud of him. Yes, I mean, that could be something that he would think about. You know, it comes from an internal.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
internal.
conviction.
Yeah, the conviction. It's not just the money you have. A lot of people got money in Loafer. I'm not one person who even got money in Loafer. But it's my conviction. It's when I wake up in the morning, I want to think, how is football looking like? You know, I spend my money to improve the game. And so far, Loafer wins. That is what I get back. Some people ask me, why you spend so much money on Loafer team? I said, because when we win, when I see the older, I see the young people, I see the border, I see the people tap on, I see the young people, I see the older people getting happy. That's what I want. It's not about the financial thing, but that gratification, that happiness that it brings to the people. In fact, many people thought that when you win the contest, you get millions of.
I've always told people, damn can't be there.
Nothing. The money you spend is far more than what you get.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of the fun and the happiness it brings to our people. That's all. It has no financial.
And the
gratification.
morale.
And the morale.
The morale.
The morale it brings.
Senator Cyrus,
Yes.
today we're talking football.
Yeah.
If you are elected as an executive committee member, you will have two big seats. One, as a national executive committee member of sports, football, Liberian Football Association, and as a senator. Very, very influential positions. Now, every time we hear people talk about the senior national team, the Lone Star. Oh, the Lone Star has not gotten supported, the Lone Star this, the Lone Star that. What kind of Lone Star, working with other executive committee members in the FA, what kind of Lone Star would you want to see? Because when you get elected now, when we're discussing football at that level now, that Momo Sarah will be talking about, Momo Sarah as executive committee member, these are influential guys. How come things are still the same?
So there's always time for everything. There's always time for everything. Today I sit as a senator. A few years ago I wasn't a senator. I was a mere entrepreneur, working in the private security sector. Today I'm a senator. I'm vying for this position to become committee member. Parents, I am the co-chair of Youth and Sport in the Liberian Senate. My chair is Honorable Bill Travi.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm the co-chair of Youth and Sport. And and I deliberately took that position. As deliberate as the protest to put me on that committee. Because I don't see sport as a political tool. I see sport as a unifying tool. There is no politics in it, there is no religion in it, there is no tribe in it. It's about unity. When Liberia wins, Liberia wins. They don't care about CDC, Unity Party, Liberty Party. It's not in football. It's the most singular unifier we have. I love it. Because even me at the Liberia Center, I'm an independent candidate. I believe in Liberia, I believe in Lofa County, I don't believe in no political party. I am for Lofa County, I'm for Liberia. That's what I thought. So we will have the opportunity to lobby with other colleagues to see that Lone Star can be elevated. I've heard some very horrible story about Lone Star that we owe bills, we owe hotels bills, we stay owe players. Player will come just one day to a game or a few hours to a game and you expect that player to perform, all because of lack of funding. I'm saying, with me being in this position or being elected, I will use my platform to convince my colleagues, because at that point in time, I will have known what the needs are at the Liberian Football Association, because I will be a decision maker there. I will take those constraints and those difficulties to our colleagues in this Liberian Senate and also extend it to the lower house to see how we can fund the Liberian Football Association. I know it's under the Ministry of Youth and Sport, but funding for the Liberian Football Association has been very low over the years. And this is one thing that brings all of us together. Why are we giving them low funding? When Lone Star win out there, everybody jubilating. So why can't we put some money there? With the way the budget is performing, I can assure the people of Lofa County, sorry, I always say Lofa because Lofa is, I can assure the people of Liberia that we will be knocking those at the Senate with colleagues of ours, even at the lower house, to ensure that the football budget can be elevated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go to other LFA issues, probably if we have some, you want to give us an update about our sports complex project in Lofa? Is it a sport complex or
Well, we're building.
stadium,
We're
whatever?
not building a stadium, and I'm on record again. We're building a complex. Matter of fact, we're going to get the best stuff. It has never come to Liberia before. It's been manufactured as we
Hey,
speak.
Momosa. Let me.
But brother, I own radio.
Let's hear you. Go ahead. I enjoy you.
I own
Let's hear about
radio.
football. Yeah, we're lecturing. Yeah, go ahead.
That stadium, in fact, matter of fact, we signing 2 weeks from now. We signing the contract with the contractor. We have a contractor, international contractor, to come and build our stadium. Build now our stadium complex. But 2 weeks from now, you will see on social media international people that will be signing a contract with us to make sure that by this year, end of this year, we'll have a print page in Lofa.
By the end of this,
By the end of the year, the still will be going on, but we'll have a top page, print page this year. By the end of this year, God be my help.
who's funding that project, Momo?
Lofians will fund it.
What's the estimate cost?
Well, the first phase is going to cost us 1.2 million, but the entire complex may cost us 6 to 7 million. We intend to build that in the
Are
next
you
3 years.
serious?
I'm very serious. We'll build it. Lofians
How
are
do
very
you, when you
serious.
say Lofians will raise, how do you intend to raise the money?
Oh, the people will come and contribute. That's something called social corporate responsibility. People will contribute. Institutions will contribute. That stadium will be built.
It will be.
It will be built. And it's going to be one of the best stadiums in Liberia. It's not manufactured, going to be a stadium, it's going to be a complex. I'm speaking as
Why if you rally the support from local construction companies here?
well,
Capable Liberia.
everything is involved. I'm not saying Momosa is going to use his money to build the stadium. We use our lobbying power, we use our connections. We will ask people, we will go out there and solicit fundings, but the Lofas complex will be built.
Okay.
Good thing about it is that the caucus have agreed that this thing will be built. Because these are the people who have the political will in Lofa. If the caucus can agree, thanks to all the caucus members for seeing this vision and approving this vision, through their instrumentality and their leadership, this stadium will be built. So
Well,
then later on we'll say,
good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on location where you are following us from next time. We'd like to say welcome to BKS TV and welcome to the Heat Hour program here on BKS TV. On the Heat Hour, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullets. My name is Junior Payne, your regular host of the Heat Hour show here on BKS TV. And of course, on the Heat Hour, we discuss varieties of issues ranging from politics, health, agriculture, and a lot more happening in and around Liberia too as well. We have to bring you major happenings across the globe too as well. Now, in tonight's edition of the show, we'll be hosting folks from members of UNICO and also UNICO Minnesota chapter vice president. His name is Mr. J.B. Wade. J.B. Wade will be joining us here tonight on the show alongside Mr. Naj Washington. Now, JB is coming because we are told allegedly that the queen that is representing Minnesota was allegedly disqualified by the committee. Reasons best known to the committee, but there have been dissatisfaction, and Nash Washington is someone who has raised the issue. Now he's appearing on the show here tonight. He has written a couple of articles on Facebook, or he has done a couple of posts on Facebook about the entire UNICO thing, and he has some different opinion, different perspective. He's saying basically that the way UNICO is proceeding is not proceeding very well. But Nash will be joining us here on the show in a couple of minutes. And if we do, we will discuss the issue here tonight on BKS TV. And I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us here. And thank you to those of you too who are listening to us via radio. We want to say welcome. Those of you too who are also listening to us via Facebook and YouTube, we want to say welcome to the show here this evening. Tell us in the comment section where you're watching us from, and let's be able to recognize you too as well. Well, I had to change my look. I look different today, you know. Someone said, Junior, you look fantastic. Yeah, I look good. You know, I got to remove everything, and I got a bald head now, like the CEO. But trust me, in a few days, I'm gonna have hair on my head. Now let's bring you major updates across Liberia. Let's try to bring you major updates across Liberia. But until we do that, before we go to that segment, let's hear you in the comment section where you're watching us from, and let's be able to recognize you too as well on the show. Again, it's great to have you on here. And today is the weekend, the 15th day of May 2026. We'd like to say welcome to all of you. And welcome to the weekend edition of the Heat Hour program here on BKS TV. Well, we're still here, and we're going to be here for the next couple of hours. As always, the show starts at 8 o'clock p.m. Liberia time to 10 o'clock p.m. Liberia time. And sometimes we go beyond that timing based on the guests we have. But I think that's something very convenient that you, our followers, I also appreciate too as well. Now, let's go across the country to bring you updates happening across the country. Now, starting with this one, just in case you want to get more updates on these stories we will be giving you here tonight, we ask you to visit BKS TV page on Facebook, BKS TV on YouTube, and also on Instagram too as well. His Excellency President Joseph Yoman Boakai Sr., through the Civil Service Agency, has enrolled employees of the Internal Love Africa EAW Hospital into government of Liberia's centralized payroll system. The initiative aimed at ensuring merit and efficiency in public service is part of the continuing fulfillment in the implementation of health and sanitation pillar of the government arrest agenda for inclusive development, particularly the national vision to expand access to quality health care, improve public sector efficiency, and enhance the welfare of frontline workers across the country. The successful onboarding of EAW into the government centralized payroll through the collaboration of the Ministry of Health and the Civil Service Agency demonstrates President Boakai's intention of reinforcing confidence among healthcare professionals and strengthening service delivery within Liberia's healthcare sector. Through this endeavor, a total of 304 employees of EAW processed and paid on the government payroll at a total dollar value of 104,000. At a total value of 104,047,000 United States dollars. Okay, great. With the total value of 104,574, with provision also being made for retroactive payment of EAW hospital employees for the month of March 2026. The Liberian leader is lauding the CSA and other two institutions, Ministry of Health and MPFD, for their remarkable effort in implementing the sham, noting that this will go as long way in spreading the benefit of government support to health sector. Just in case you want to have more of this on this story, we ask you to visit BKS TV page online. Now to international news. Ebola crisis deepening in the Democratic Republic of Congo as death tolls rises. According to the African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, around 246 suspected cases have now been recorded, raising fears the virus could spread beyond Congo's border. Preliminary testing confirmed Ebola in 13 out of 20 samples, with scientists now working to identify the exact strain behind the outbreak. The hardest hit area is Utah province, where 4 laboratory confirmed deaths have already been reported. Suspected infections also emerged in the city of Boine. Regional health leaders held an emergency meeting Friday alongside officials from Uganda and South Sudan as concerns grow over cross-border transmission driven by mining activity, population movement, and insecurity in affected region. Again, if you want to have more detail on the story too, we ask you to visit BKS TV page. Still on the international scene, the Africa CEO Forum has officially kicked off in Kigali, Rwanda. The forum began yesterday, Thursday morning, bringing together business leaders, investors, and head of states, as well as government ministers, to forge a shared vision for Africa growth and global competitive too as well. Next year theme is the skill imperative, why Africa must embrace share ownership. The event is aimed at developing the private sector in Africa. If you want to get more details on the story, we ask you to visit BKS TV page online, Facebook too as well. The AME Zion Nima County Extension today officially kick off in Ganta City, Nima County. We will bring you more details of that story too, as well as the show unfolds. LPRC Managing Director Amos Tuer responds to the CDC. He says the CDC has become so bereft basic propaganda ideas. They claim that there was an attempt to bribe jurors in the jurors is foolish, baseless, and coherent serious investigation. He concluded by saying the case is not yet closed. Now let's bring you a last update here from the world of sports in Liberia. The present table of the LFA Nima County 3rd Division playoff is currently out, with Wunta FC currently on the table with 4 points and 2 goals, being United FC second to Wunta FC with 3 points, 1 goal, and the Heaven Experience is also there too with 1 point. Monistar is also on the table there too as well in Group A. Now in Group B, Young Ones is topping the table with 3 points and 1 goal, with Campley United also on the table with 3 points. Shooter FC also on the table with 1 point. And Domina FC on the table with 1 point. Sekle United is also struggling on the table there too with 0 points and 2 goals against. Nima United also struggling with 0 points and 2 goals against too as well. I want to say welcome to the show here this evening. It's great to have all of you. 7 minutes up to 9 o'clock in Liberia. At 9 o'clock, we'll be welcoming our guests on here this evening. CEO, what's up? How you guys doing? It's great to have you guys here.
So what's up with the hair and the glasses? You know, the man. See how things work happening. The man want to be there.
Well, I think is wearing costume with all of the jacket.
CEO. Gentleman. What's up with the hairstyle? The hairstyle. There's a story behind the hairstyle about I'm thinking. That way, he decided to call a hairstyle, but it was not. DK got a name for the CEO, so maybe the host want to follow such pattern though. You know that. No, they need a DK again for the CEO. That's correct name. So we can talk here. All kinds of fantastic.
Sorry, I didn't get you. What you said?
No, forget it. Get me.
So when you see the picking, every general dress and putting all the journalistic skills together. See, I would say my investigation has always been that you're on top of things. You see, I begin with Hennessy, Bottle, Jack Daniel, and he will Harley and Paul Henneke on the other side. Then something in the making. No, journalism, the journalism as a profession, as a man, is a lawyer in training. I mean, I'm eating. I mean, that may be our own Adol Johnson.
Thank
That
you
may be
very
our own Adol Johnson.
much. But it's good to be back on here. We've had a wonderful week so far. Yesterday, I know we didn't come because we had some technical difficulties there, but it has been an awesome week. Filled with Unico. We've hosted a lot of Unico folks here. We had a wonderful debate. When was it? I forgot the date. So Unico, we've been involved tremendously when it comes to Unico convention this year. We are planning, we are partnering, we are working. And then, we are relaying the message to the people back home. The kids who were born in the early 2000s, they really don't know what Unico is. And I think because of our listening audience and what we've done with every one of you guys on here, we've been able to at least to hammer it home. And some people have started to know what Unico is and what we're all about. Well, first of all, I want to say thanks to you, the host. You've been doing a great job and coming on here every night and doing what you're doing. It continues to be amazing. And because of you, the entire team, Siawete, with his busy schedule, the brother will always be there to help us out. DK, the same thing. And to all our panelists, including the ambassador from Tapeta, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So I want to say thanks to all of you. Now, shout out to our journalists in Liberia. If you guys have been following lately, we got 3 new members who have been, excited to join us, who have been doing really great. They have been reporting from MICAT and also one from the Senate. And then one just recently joined us. And then all our guys, the ones in Nimba, the manager, Genesee Baby in Bon County. We got our man Samuel Bullen in Lofa. BKS is growing, and we want to say thank you to all of you for the great work that you are doing. It's because of you that we are here. And then lastly, our followers, man, you can't leave them out, right? So they have always been there. I know my man Alexander Aloysius Tente from Canada, brother, is always on here. The only time the man can follow is when he's in France. No, the man can follow from France.
He follow from France, yeah. Then we got one of our adding followers from where is it from? Complet, right? I mean, and then the list goes on and on and on. We can't name everybody on here. I got my own brother Ping watching tonight, and all of you. So we want to say thanks to all of you for watching. We want to say thanks to Unico organization as well for allowing us to partner with them. So I'll stop there for now. I know we are hosting Unico folks tonight, and we'll talk a little more about some details here. But I'll pause and then let the other guys come in.
Thank you, CEO. It's great to have you on here too tonight. And DK, it's been a while, very long time. I wanted to ask you, how's the campaign? But let me say happy belated birthday to you, senior man. Even though I call you on the birthday, you are swallowing your GB, you didn't pick up my call. Yeah, and that's an issue that
the man always car.
But I responded to the man. Gray was not the first person that asked. It was Councilor Yelu. I told them, I said, I'm an Uber driver. And that they also are doing here. So when you Uber driver, you're behind the wheel all the time. Yeah, so yes, let me say thank you to everybody. I was so reachful, and so I can be better situated to talk. Other than that, during the campaign is going well. May is my favorite month. My junior comrade DK Way, the second was born on May 5th. DK Way, he said was born on the 10th. And my last born, Ente Gate, was born on the 13th. So May is.
You mean who made it?
Where your last born?
The lie you. Yeah.
But wait, man, you get food.
I was so get home down. I want to respond to good. I really want to respond to good.
Okay, no problem. Welcome. Why I ask you what's on your mind this evening? My attention has been drawn to a certain issue in the country, the issue of exploitation. And I want to start with the water side. Why do you think Liberian businesses always use little opportunity to exploit from the Liberian people? Now, I'm asking you in your capacity as a businessman, as a business student, as an economist. Why do you think so?
Yeah, John, good evening. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. I mean, your suit is nice, I must admit. You have a very nice suit. And it's good that you are getting accustomed to that because as a lawyer, you got to be in a phone. You see, I got
Thank you, Chief.
one of my young brother. He always says, young brother, you get money, just give me some. I mean, I mean, buy more code while I'm in East Africa because it's cheap here. When I go back, the only thing I had to do is to just press it. But on the overall, it just shows how how unique you guys feel your study is too. So I must give it up to you guys that are trying your best. Um, First day, what's on my mind is about the LFA. Today, the LFA conducted her election, and I think with all the haul and pull, the LFA now has gone through the process, and our own son, Adolfo Dolo, he got re-elected as the vice chair again, I think for operation or so. But one of the key things that came out was the issue of the guy who was contesting, who got Cassell FC. He was contesting. There were a lot of haul and pull. Went to the code reinstated him. But then the football, that's why football is another thing. The politics in football is I can say it's a diplomatic politics. When they are playing it with you, you don't even know they're laughing with you. And so that's why I told people sometimes the issue of politics most times is not on Facebook. It's about a game. It's not too much about Facebook and all of that. Your strategy, because Kaseko, man, he understands the LFA being a former vice chair of the LFA, but in all fairness, he been away for a while. So I mean, people who are already on ground and got leadership, it's difficult to it's difficult to actually infiltrate the system. So because he got the power, the executive committee, and all these things. So I mean, he was surrounded by a lot. And another thing that actually played with him was that eviction. I don't know. He was in jail, conviction also. How do we call it? That character liability is also hanging over him too. So he also play with him. But he would need time to reinstate. It's not about money because if that gentleman are going to go to the election, for me, in my opinion, you're going to disturb that election because he got money. If you saw former players going to endorse a gentleman, former players and all the people, it was something they were doing. So he was off for something. But on the overall, I don't know, is that our guess or what? So yeah, but let me just conclude on this, John. You asked me about exploitation. I don't know what is exploitation in what sense. I don't know. Is it about you muted?
So the reason why I asked the question was recently you saw the water price in the country where there were some local businesses selling water bag for $10, and out of that the government has to step in. The Ministry of Commerce have to step in to stop that from happening too as well. And I listened to I don't know the Water Association. I think that's their name. And the guy said they were selling water for the same exact price. The only difference that they make was to add $10 to the water sack money, which they did because of some increase in taxes, some increase in the material that they buy. So they just added $10 to it. He gave us breakdown that if you buy the water sack for $90, you have at least 30 bags of water or 30 sachets of water in the sack. And if you sell it, you as a business person, if you sell it, you will be making around $80 to $75 profit. But then they went as far as selling it now for $10, which they were making close to $200 profit. So, and this is not the first time. It also happens to essential goods like gasoline, where you realize that when there is a little, maybe a slight difficulties, people will start keeping those goods inside and start to exploit from the Liberian people. They always wait for the smallest moment and they take the worst action to exploit from the Liberian people. So they were asking you that question.
Yeah, I know. I think our guest is trying to settle down, but John, firstly, I want to speak from a broader, point as a business person in Liberia. And everywhere globally, what happens is that, the consumer and the vendors or the business owners, what consumer go for is their interest and what they stand to benefit. Look, if you even give price for let's just assume donut or bread, $5, maybe $6, the consumer will go for the $5. Whether it even be $4.50, $5.50 or $5.01, they will go for the $5.01 because businessmen always at the expense of the people. The first thing they look for is the profit. So what is lacking in Liberia is the Ministry of Commerce or the major stakeholders that should be involved in the monetary aspect. I think that what is lacking, because the businessman what he's looking for is to maximize profit, and consumer what they want is the less cost. So what is happening over there most time, I think the major point from the water producer association is the issue of the bag that is being produced, from what I listen to them, because they procure the bag from, I think, either Shetty or Durapla or some of the companies. The money that is being added, obviously they will inflate that. They will distribute that price on the total cost of the bag, because the bag is a roller, and that roller, each roller, for example, you have to give you maybe like 10 or 15 sack, assuming 10 or 15 sack from that roller. If it is not, is that our guess?
And I guess they're ruling in 1-1 too, The other Minnesota people can come in. They can come in 1-1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but once they are available, JB Way. Okay. Yeah, so CEO, I think we can go to our guests, because I think we don't know that they are all in.
No, so in Minnesota is a special state, great state. You hear that music? I forgot the name of it. In Minnesota, man.
Yeah.
You see, so I got my brother. JB, that my brother will go way back, Danade, we're talking Danade way back, so not from around here. So to have him on the show tonight with Mr. Washington, I mean, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to host him.
But I hope the JB will not be distracted, because in car, I don't know whether the message will flow.
Yeah. You see. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I know we are not new to you, BKS TV. You have worked with us before. You've been listening to us. You want to follow us, so it's nothing new here to introduce you. But we are excited to host you guys tonight. I don't know where the host went, but we also have Mr. Washington here too as well, who's going to be. Let's see here, Mr. Washington. Oh, I know. I tried. I don't know. There you go.
Yeah, our audience.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. We are looking forward to discussing some issues here. It's not going to be just Unico alone, because these guys are decision makers. Some people that are making contributions to Liberia, Nema County. So we'll be asking them other questions as well. They've been in the Liberian community, the Nema community, for a very long time. So we'll be trying to get some information from them, asking them for so many things. But welcome to the show. I will have the host welcome you guys, and then we'll go right into it. I know you guys are either just getting off work or trying to make your way home.
Thank you, CEO.
I'm going to edit this off.
maybe you might not hear me better, but when I get to my car, you will hear me.
No problem. No problem, Chief.
So are you guys free? Can we have the interview now, or should we give you like a couple of minutes for you to get home before we do that?
No, give me like 3 minutes from now. Let me get into my car.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Mr. Wade, are you okay? Should we start with you?
Yes, please. Let's proceed. It's going to take me about 45 minutes to get home, so I don't want to waste all of your time. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, great. It's great to have you on the show here this evening. They told me much about you. They told me so many things about you, that you are the vice president for Unico, Minnesota, and all of that. They say you're a very good man. You're doing wonderful things in Liberia. I'm a testament to that. It's great to have you on the show here this evening. Some folks listening might not know you like that, so we ask you to please do us a detailed introduction of yourself, where you hail from, your position, Unico currently, and let's start the conversation from there.
Okay. By introduction, first of all, I just want to take this time to say thank you to Mr. Sekar and the crew from BKS TV for the marvelous job you guys have been doing so far. We can't be advocating for change when we don't have the first, right? And you guys are currently the first of the voiceless and upcoming leaders. So for that, I want to be grateful to say thank you. And by way of introduction, my name is Jacob Bawo Wei. I hail from Tapeta district, Nima County. My mom is from Gray, so I grew up between Gray and Tapeta, basically. In terms of position of Unico, I have served Unico Minnesota board chair, which automatically make me former board member of Unico National. I think I occupied that position for 5 years, and came back and became a board co-chair for Unico. And then through our crisis, I took a demotion by myself to step down to become a vice president, just for the sake of being a peacemaker. So that is my current position in Unico.
How is Unico Minnesota?
We are surviving. But things could be better. But for the most part, we are doing okay.
When you say you are surviving, do you have any other challenge? Let's say, do you have any challenges that you are facing currently?
Yes. I'm not sure if you guys been tracking since the past board election that ushered Mr. Cado into power. We had Madam Kokwigwe Fangado as the contestant, which half of the community here supported, and then the other half was supported by the current president, Mr. G, Samuel Obeji, and the rest of the crew. So we all know about election, right? Some people don't understand that the political dynamic, that people have a choice to decide when it comes to election matter, and they take it personal when people either go the other way or go the other way. So that division we are still trying to handle here since that election. And then now the next election kind of build up on the third, back to square one, it feels like.
Great. So I think that's something that we will go deeper into it right now. We want to discuss it in depth. But there is this rumor from your Minnesota chapter. I don't know, as vice president, what are you guys doing to handle that? But let's welcome Mr. Nash Washington to the show. Nash, good evening and welcome. How are you doing, Chief?
Well, praise God, I'm doing okay. Nice to be in your studio. But I don't know why I'm appearing 2 times. So I don't know if you can work on it.
Let's work on that and see. I think you are okay. I think.
2 times?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I think it's from your screen.
I think so. You are on the screen and then you're in the back.
You're in the outside. It is.
Oh, okay. All right. So thank you. I am glad to be on your show. For those who do not know me, my name is Nash Washington. I'm a Nibayan, and I live in the state of Minnesota. I am happy to be on your show for today. Thank you.
It's great to have you on here. 2 Minnesota folks. Nash, you've been writing a lot of things on Facebook. So I want to start a conversation with you. Then we'll go to your vice president so that, he can compliment some of these things that you will be saying. But what's up with your grievances? Give us, a little background of that? Where are you coming from with these posts that you're making?
Well, thank you again. We are all Nigerians, and what we offer is the unity of Nima County. I think many people, most of the counties are learning from us, the progressiveness of Nima people, the unity that people out there see among us, and how we are moving nationally. But then within our own community, especially so the organization that's supposed to serve as a springboard for our unity that we project out there, there not even seems to be, there is a big crack in it. And it worries some of us. It worries us in that we are making progress as Nigerians on the national scene. But then among us, something is eating us, and I think we must address it. That thing that is eating us is tribalism. There where I come from. And I think it's meant to destroy us if we don't stop it now. It will destroy us. It will destroy our national image. It will destroy the national projection that we are making. We have to deal with it among ourselves now. That is my motivation, and that's what I'm trying to talk about.
When you say tribalism is trying to eat up the organization, that's a very grave allegation. What are instances that you think people have been discriminated because of tribal background?
Yes, the cattle elections expose this weakness within our organization, within our county. People campaigned against Kou and bring her as a Nima, in fact, as a minor girl. And that Gio people should not vote for her. People at leadership level were reaching out to us. They were calling our phones. They were meeting us physically and telling us, oh, the only reason why you voting for Kou is that Kou is a minor girl. Saying you are a minor, a man, that's why you're voting for Kou. So we were not looking at competence. We were not looking at people's choices to decide who to vote for or who to back based on our personal relationship or how they are seeing the individual work in our community. But people were branding us as voting for Kou because Kou was a Gio girl, a minor girl, and that people who are Gio should not vote for Kou because Kou is a minor girl. It happened here in Minnesota. Top people in the Minnesota leadership target. It was Opie that was the more famous land for the cattle campaign in Minnesota. So I don't speak about what happened.
Do you mind calling some names because what you're talking about is nothing small, right? And then
no, it's not necessary for this kind of conversation. We can talk the issue and leave the person.
Okay, but won't that be just a mere allegation? Because you are saying something that is very grave, right? This is huge.
If you follow my writing, in Minnesota, it's always based on that. It's not something I'm saying off here. It was something that was elevated to the level we talk about. Even in Kou's meeting, we talk about it. Right after the elections, we went for the program where people who campaign against Kou openly attack me there and say, yes, for as much as you people remain minor people, we the gay people, we will unite against you people. And any other person that is minor, that we see you people supporting, we will vote against that person.
Okay. And then
that is an open thing. It happened in the open.
Okay. And
so now as we speak, okay, go ahead, CEO. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
Now as we speak, do we have any discrepancy or discrimination happening with UNICO that you know of? I know you guys are going to another election again. Do you know of any other, discrimination that is happening currently within UNICO?
Yes.
Do you care to tell us?
Yes, what is going on in UNICO? I will explain to you. Yes, what is going on in UNICO? And let me set the stage this way. My position and the reason I'm writing is that I consider myself an elder in the community. It is better we wash our dirty clothes among ourselves, settle it, and then we can move on as a community and a people. Then trying to brush aside these things and not addressing them head on and pretending out there that we are united when within ourselves we are being eaten up. So yes, what happened? After Kou and Kato's election, I was in fact, Kou called us here in Minnesota and killed a cow. And presented said, look, the Kou camp is dissolved. We got no more Kou's camp. The elections are come and passed. Let's move on. We are waiting to work with the administration. Leadership of Unico National were called to this program. Kou hosted this program at a park here in Minnesota. After that, when the Minnesota delegation, which Kou was a member of, went to Maryland for the inauguration of Kato, there was a music made I call it from Liberia, a Gyo music. I think with some minor splash, maybe. But I've listened to the Gyo version. That was kind of like, as we can put it in the little man's talk, putting it in Kou's face. The lyric in the song was that if a child say you can't listen to people, I think they got something else to say about it. So the Kou people feel like, wait a minute, we have said these things, we kill cow, we call the community here and say, look, let's move forward. What is it that people making the kind of music that is in Gyo? We are all Gyo people, Gyo and Mana people. We understand the tradition and we understand the language expression, the cultural expression. What is it that they're making the kind of music? And that music, I'm told there was an influential person in the Kato's camp who kept calling for the playing of this music, playing for the music, and then it began to make sense to the Kou group that, oh, wait a minute, this is the top being thrown at us. Where Kou came to Minnesota, we talk about it, many people here know about it. We went to the vice president who's on the show place. We said, well, let's move again. Let's forget that one. Let's move on. So the basis of little division is laid. Then in recent time, the Queen contest is announced, and the Minnesota Queen had a surgery on her arm, and according to her, she communicated with the people in the chat room on the Queen's community contest committee, maybe not formally writing a committee, but talk to individuals on the board. And then without waiting to even hear from the Queen, what happened and stuff like that, the group moved quickly. And when they removed the Queen from, Minnesota contestant from the Queen stuff, and Minnesota have been making all frantic effort. Some of us have been engaged behind the scene, trying to say, look, the Queen contest is meant to generate money for our community. We got projects all over the place. But what we see and the resistance we are receiving from the administration all boils down to just the one thing, that we are a divided community. That the community is divided, that we are not able to solve little things among ourselves. People are grandstanding, people are taking their side, even in the process of solving this problem, the Queen contest situation I told you about. People are asking, but you begging for the Queen, you want her to come, but which side are you supporting? So we feel that those things are building tension in our community. So we decided to talk about it. Thank you for bringing me into the forum now. Let's talk about it. It's not personal against somebody. What some of us, like me, if you saw my next store, I come and said, I say, I'm shouting it and I'm calling for reconciliation. My intent on this show is to call Nima people, the elders of Nima, to the attention that, hey, we have to fix what is happening in our community before it spill over to our people in Liberia.
So now, are you saying that the disqualification of the Queen from Minnesota was based on a tribe or anything?
It's interconnected.
Now, I want us to make it very explicit. When you say it's interconnected, I know you give instances where these things have been happening, but how is it that the disqualification of the Unico Minnesota Queen lays down to the issue of tribe discrimination?
Like I said, it's intertwined. The tribe discrimination is not necessarily that this one is talking about, oh, Vicky Dakwa is a minor girl, we should not vote for her. No, there are a lot of people in a former cattle camp who are going to vote for Vicky Dakwa. That is not the problem. The problem is that the foundation of the disunity started with the Kou and Kato's election, where people took their side based on their tribal affiliation. So we are saying people are in group, and this is how we got to the cattle camp that brought discrimination. In fact, I brought the whole confusion or disunity in the Minnesota chapter. We are seeing similar thing happening on the other side. So the tribal thing was just one of the points that were made in my readout. It was not the sole reason.
Great. Now,
so these are what have been happening in our community. Let's look at it and solve them. Yep.
Since you've been raising this issue, how many of Unico leadership have reached out to you so that you guys can have it resolved?
No. As in capital, no.
Okay, great. I will stop here for now. My question from my end, I will go to the CEO to ask his question. After that, we go to CLT.
No, let CLT ask his question, and then I will come there. Brother, again, I want to say thanks to you for taking your time and coming to the show. I hope you have a few more minutes here, more time to spend with us, because at least I read your post today. There are so many things in there that deserve pointing out, and I know a lot of Unico people are watching and listening to this, and some people don't want to talk about it, and you are here talking about it, and we are grateful that you are being able to come on here and discuss this. Even though you are saying you're not going to call names, that's okay, but there are several things that we need to discuss. So I'll have CLT ask his questions, and then from there, I think we have JB2 here. So we want to make it interactive, right? Let's get JB involved. So JB is from Minnesota too. He's also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he's also on the side of Mr. Washington. Same thing. So let's have it interactive and get JB involved there. So CLT, over to you.
Okay. Say something?
No, yes. We'll be asking you here shortly.
Yeah, is he getting me?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Okay, CEO, thank you very much for the Gion tool. I read the brother write-up, this morning in the chat room, but I just wonder, I don't know whether Gion had it to put it on the screen, because like he said, the essence of forming this organization, he outlined series of in his write-up. I think he started, out of the second paragraph, he talked about years of dormancy. And then when you read further there, he also talked about how on Mr. Wogbe administration, he's helped to expand the institution. So that clearly shows, the good work he's done over the years. But then he come down in the second paragraph, he talked about dormancy. So what I'm not understanding from this first one before going down further is he acknowledged, Mr. Wogbe, how do organization that is dormant, have expansion in almost all of the states now. That's why I want to understand from him first before I ask the other question.
All right, so I don't have the write out here, but I'm the writer, so I know exactly how the logic flowed. So the first thing we talk about, the name or the title for this readout is the Nima Family Feud. And we talk about how it is going to be a tragedy if the organization that was established for unity will not lost its focus on unity. And we went on to say that when UNICO started, this is how it started as a student organization. And later, when things changed in America, the focus changed from helping students now to a broader community organization to bring unity. And now, during that time, UNICO, because the UNICO lost its focus first as a student organization or organization formed to help students that are coming to America to seek education. When students begin nurses and students begin truck drivers and they begin homeowner, that student, center kind of a little bit went away. Later, the organization became a social organization, a community-based organization to bring Nima people together among, other objectives. As time went on, there were friction in the organization. I mean, we did not head to put this one head on. But if you talk to older people here in America as it relates to UNICO, they will tell you that UNICO became too much of social organization, that it began, breaking people's homes, boyfriend and girlfriends were meeting there, and stuff like that. And in Minnesota, where I do it, UNICO went dormant. Then after certain time, I didn't put a year to it because it was overnight. I was just putting things together. But I think I can put year to it, later read out. That Sam where G took upon himself. I was one of those persons that he contacted. We were the few persons that attended the first meeting. We expressed this sentiment I'm expressing. We expressed it there that hey, we do not want to be part of Minnesota UNICO because this is what we heard about it when we were back in Liberia. Sam made an effort and brought all of us together. After leading Minnesota for some time, Sam elevated to a national leader where he began to expound the organization. So the dormancy was before Sam came in. The dormancy was not after Sam.
Yeah, so that's where I want us to dwell on a little bit, CEO. I hope you'll give me a few minutes because from his write-up, from this beginning of the writer, that's where I'm really focusing because when you read this paragraph, it talk about, like you said, he says Saint G revived the organization and restore hope. And then chapter expanded across the United States for a moment, right? So where I'm really focused there is that through this, how did Saint G, expand the year when in your write-up down here, you listed all of these, point about, how the tribal politics have replaced brotherhood, personal camp replacing, and, the purpose and all of that. So if an institution that is not united, how do the institution expand? And you talk about even giving hope. He restored the organization. How did Saint G restore and give hope and expand the organization in the absence of all of what you wrote? For me, that's where I'm still dwelling on. Because in the absence of unity, in the absence of organization, how did he give hope to the organization? How did he restore the organization? Is it only about the past election is where the conflict is, or right now because of the Queen contest issue?
I want your question to be low focused because now it is dangling. So Sam did not form UNICO. UNICO existed as an organization before Sam, even before Sam came to America, right? But I made specific reference to UNICO Minnesota was dormant. I moved here 2011. We did not have UNICO until maybe 2014, there and about. Before Sam stepped in and revived the UNICO Minnesota branch, which from UNICO history has been the real brain around UNICO success. When Sam revived the organization, called us into meeting, we said this, we expressed a sentiment, people bought Sam's idea, we all came on board. Sam was moving from place to place here in Minnesota, from house to house in Minnesota, encouraging people to be a part of the organization.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sam revived the organization after years of dormancy. Sam is the one that brought back the zeal of the organization after many years of dormancy.
Okay, so CEO, that's where my point, because the reason I kept asking this question, Minnesota, you are not, specific in the write-up, right? So if it was placed as Minnesota chapter, then of course, but it was open. That's where my question keep coming. And then in same administration, you also talk about expanding. But now I just wanted to get that clear because I think in his administration, you also acknowledge that. But the issue, with this with this issue right now is about the queen that you wrote where they are intending to go to the court and all of that. So I wanted to dwell on your write-up to ask you about what is really happening, what level, and you said it is based on tribal things. So the accused, from what I see here, I think all of this is now pointing to the current president.
Yes, it's not an accusation, it's a rude awakening. And if you follow the right out, I went on and make the Moses scenario. Can revive the organization. They are, we can say maybe the contemporary UNICO is the brainchild of Sam G. Wube. You can't take it from him. But what happens if you read on a little step by Mr. Panelist, I said that the board elections is where the current situation we have in UNICO that I'm speaking about started. There where it came to the full, there where it came outside. People were campaigning openly on it. It was not like I'm not inferring. People were not even inferring. People were directly on it. People will come to me and say, oh, why should you, we can't campaign to you because we know you're going to vote for Cole because Cole is a man again. You understand that?
So to be honest with you, so Mr. Washington, let me hold you there, right? If you want to make allegations, especially when it comes to tribal stuff, I think you should be straight up and call names, right? UNICO, the purpose of UNICO, I think you know that. So when you come on a platform like this, and you insinuating or stating emphatically that people campaign on tribal land, people in the leadership came out to you and said X, Y, Z, I think it'll be good for the audience sake to be able to call some names. How are we going to fix this?
All right.
But CEO, I don't think it's actually, I don't think he's dodging that. From this conversation, you can clearly see that he's directed to the president. So if you look at the write-up, it's clear. That's why I was asking him, was it the time, and then he make it explicit now that it was only UNICO Minnesota where he was speaking from. And in the writer, you don't have Minnesota. It was generally categorized, as UNICO. That's where the confusion was.
All right. Mr. Reader, I don't know if you dwell on a particular portion, but if you read the entire readout, you will see the logic flowing through. UNICO Minnesota revived UNICO National. UNICO Minnesota revived UNICO National. When Sam G. Wube stepped out and revived UNICO Minnesota, it was there and then that Sam himself began to now contact Minnesota, I call it the various branches, and started, I call it, reactivating them. It's an open secret. So it's not like it happened 400 years ago that I'm telling history. This is what happened. Sam revived UNICO National. You understand that?
Okay. So
the readout was not an accusation. The readout was a call to mind. Exactly. I said, hey, Sam, Mr. President, these are what you've done.
Exactly.
But these are what are the good things you have done. But the particular board elections brought bad blood among us. And that bad blood was based, people use tribalism. People use tribe as a basis for argument. So, Mr. President, this is your brainchild. Come back to your senses. Call your officials. Let it be about Nima County and not about individuals winning.
Thank you.
So if you go ahead and read the whole thing is clear there. It's spelled out.
Thank you. Thank you again. Like I said, the goal tonight is to have this interactive. That's NIMA discussion there. So we'll have to have everyone we invited here involved. So
Thank you.
My question now will go to JB. And Mr. Washington, you can also answer this question as well after JB talked about it. I'll try to answer it here. So overall, right, my brother JB, I don't know if you can hear me from your end there. If you can hear me, here's my question. This whole noise about the whole Queen contest being canceled and everything being sent to the court. Do you think the nature of the Queen contest or the purpose of it, is there something that worth canceling because of disagreement and then having interference with the whole convention? You think that's the purpose of the convention? Let's say the Queen contest. Hold on 1 second. We can hear you. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so if I can hear you clearly, you know I'm a thorough man, so I don't like to respond to questions without not understanding what I'm responding to. So your question is whether with all the rigmarole that we're going through, is canceling the convention worth it?
No, the Queen contest. Going to court.
I think going to court worth it.
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
So this is where I come in. I know Mr. Washington was explaining something that you guys didn't understand earlier. So the thing is, President Gene and I, when he was the president of UNICO Minnesota, that's when Mr. Washington out there was reviving. UNICO came in. I was the pool co-chair. The medical supply and Madam Kokwige was my deputy. She was I was the chair. She was my co-chair. We did everything we could. Send the container to Liberia, computer to Liberia, Neiman University. All of those stuff we did. The work we did in Minnesota prepared President G to the national. That's the point he was trying to make. Okay. So after we had a team, and the team is still here. Our frustration right now is President G had built a legacy for himself. You can't deny the man, although other people were on the background. The president always take the credit, right? So yeah, kudos to the man. My frustration right now is there are clear breach of protocol, both the UNICO Constitution and even due process, right? So the Queen of Minnesota was registered by the chapter, which is the Minnesota UNICO chapter. And for whatever reason, the woman had an emergency eye surgery. Whatever the communication is, I don't like to pick a side because there's every story that has two sides, right?
Yes, sir.
Or multiple angles. I don't presume to know whatever happened between that. If you technically look at it, there might be a wrong done on both sides. But my only problem is because of wrong done on both sides, this woman had a legitimate medical reason, and she was duly registered by our chapter. So if she doesn't show up, if you call her, you know who registered her. Reach out to the people who she contesting on behalf. Say, hey, guys, just so you know, your queen is at the risk of falling out because she's not compliant. None of that was done. The letter we got was termination letter. I'm like, what is this? This got to be a joke. That's not how it works. So I reached out to President G. I like, so are you aware of what's going on? We just got a letter. Our queen was terminated. I like, where I come from logically, you know, I used to serve on the board. An AHA committee does not have the authority to just dismiss somebody. That's not the function of an AHA committee. Are you making this decision? You said no, but I will take a look and let you know. We didn't just stop there. I reached out to the board chair and all the other elders in the community. So I listened to one formality. You let them write a rebuttal letter to the claim they are trying to make. Let them know that, hey, they will first they have a legitimate medical concern. Secondly, Minnesota was not informed. Thirdly, due process was not accorded to her. So we want you to reconsider your decision. So while in that process, the board chair and all of the elders, I think the board convened an elder council or whatever they want to call that. And they didn't just convene that council, they tried to do their background work or social programming, if you ask me, right? They call on a Sunday, they call me and say, oh, the queen coming. Let the queen come and tell the committee she's sorry and the thing will move forward. And like, you know what? You don't buy sorry. When you can tell somebody sorry, you're not losing nothing. So I call the queen, my queen, I beg you when you go there, just tell the people, say, it's in our power already. We all take accountability. You all move forward. This is about Nima County. Yes, we're good to go. They went to that gathering. They did whatever they could do. The queen apologized or took accountability as much as she could. But somebody in our gathering who happens to be one of the Queen Mother attack Unico allegedly. Let me because I was not there. Let me take my hand from that one.
You're not there.
Allegedly attack the president of Unico, Minnesota, Madam Vicky Senduro Zulu. And we all know who Vicky Senduro Zulu is. She does not take fine lying down. She will respond.
So JB, hold on 1 second. So are you saying that the Queen Lapo apologized?
Yes.
Okay, because it's my understanding that she refused to apologize.
No, she did apologize. She did. She apologized. The board chair from Minnesota, Dr. Klein, everybody will all apologize. So let me tell you the some of our frustration. Her apology was invalidated because President Vicky had responded because she felt attacked and responded to whoever her attacker was. To the board and the committee, that invalidated because Minnesota apology was not genuine because somebody said something. I'm like, how is that fair? You called me undercover to tell the woman to apologize. Now she apologized. You still apologize not genuine because somebody else said something. And technically, we can't start anybody. That's a democratic society. I can't start somebody from saying something. So now they asked her to write the apology. I'm like, okay, I think you're scratching the thing. I don't think you really want an apology. I think you just want written evidence that this full of hope, basically. Because if I tell you, say I'm sorry, you want people, we will not go nowhere.
Thank you.
So that's said and done. As we speak, let me finish this one. As we speak, after they deny our letter, they deny our appeal the second time, currently wrote to the board, and then currently to the national president saying, we are still pending our outcome of the letters that are pending both to the executive and the board here.
Thank you. So you're still waiting on that, but there's communication in the chat group there that you guys have already hired a lawyer.
Absolutely. That is done. I think they should have received a letter from our lawyer by now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nash. You still there? Washington.
Yes, I'm here.
So you want to answer that question, the same question I asked JB?
Please ask the question again, please.
They're just basically, is it worth it to take the Unico to court regarding this whole Queen contest thing?
So somebody please mute yourself.
Let me see that JB. Let me see if I can mute JB. Okay, go ahead. I think we got you now.
All right. So I will answer your question in twofold. I was part of the meeting when the leadership briefed us that based on everything that the vice president just talked about, they only recourse because they reached out to the board chair, the president, the committee, members of the community who are believed to be elders, and they were not having any redress. So the decision of the leadership here in Minnesota, as we were briefed as members, is that to be able to call the leadership of national Unico to their minds is to go to court and put a halt to the process. Individually, the vice president just said, I did not agree. I took the same posture that led me to writing and calling on Nimbarans to come to negotiation table and making sure that we make peace among ourselves was the same stand that I took. So I do not want us to go to court because going to court is the carrying ourselves to court.
Exactly.
However, the leadership justification is that we agree, but we are reaching out to people who we think we should reach out to for solution, and they seem not to be either understanding us or they themselves are not conflicted by the happiness because the Queen Contest Committee is an ad hoc committee constituted by the president. The president should have some control over them. They did something.
We can't hear you. Look like you got a call. We can hear you, Mr. Washington.
You getting me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
All right, yeah. Sorry, somebody was calling. Yeah. So the only recourse available to the Minnesota leadership and the Minnesota chapter is for them to go to court to put an injunction on the Queen contest as leaders. Either the court call the leaders of Unico National, the Queen contest committee chair, and the Unico Minnesota leadership to a conference wherein they will be able to explain and come to an amicable solution. So personally, I don't agree, but it seems as though that is the only recourse to Minnesota leadership.
Thank you. I think you and JB don't agree personally, but your hands are tied now. Apparently, your team is doing this. So, JB, I got a question for you, and I want you to answer this. Mr. Washington made several claims here, and for me, I think that is the biggest thing that I've taken from his conversation thus far. Injecting tribal thing that has to do with the leadership, the problems. Again, I'm paraphrasing what he said. Most of the problems that Unico faces today, is based on tribal line, things that are done on tribal line, including, he said, the Queen contest. He said they all intermingle. For Sis Cole, my own cuz Cole team, you were on the team, right? You have been on the team. You, JB, Emmanuel Monroe, and the list goes on and on and on. Some other folks who are from the Dingoes background, the list goes on and on. Do you think it's fair for our brother Washington to say to the public here today that everything is most of it was based on tribal line? If you are not a Mono man from a different tribe, Emmanuel Mono from a different tribe, and again, the list goes on, and you guys were key players on this team, would you agree with your man Washington tonight regarding that statement that he made?
Okay, yeah. So my role currently, I got a 5-state president. So my role right now in the community is a peacemaker. Secondly, I cannot discount somebody else's account or experience during the campaign. Whatever your experience was, his experience. I can tell you though what I know about my role here. I recruited President President Peki Pendo Zulu to politics when it comes to the Nima community. I also recruited Kou and all of this stuff. So without discounting Mr. Washington's experience, words go here and then we hear what we hear. But I decided not to dwell on that. Whatever his experience is or was, his experience, I can't really do much about that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We all know that you can see the pattern that people are talking about, right? I always think about gender balance, ethnic balance. I'm one of those people that tell you, say, I will vote for Musa Belete. Now I come and bring controversy in your interview. Whoever does the best for Nima Kante, I'm voting for you. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, who you are, all that stuff. It should always be about Nima Kante when we say we want the best for Nima Kante. So for me, I refuse to see that angle, even if you put it in my face.
Thank you. So for me personally, I think that's very huge. If I wasn't sure if it was me and I heard someone saying that, especially on the leadership level, I will call the person out. I will call the person in so we can be able to knit that, because there should be no room for that in our body of politics, especially when it comes to Unico. We are not just Gio and Mono. We have several tribes in Nima County there, and we should be one. The forefathers who founded Unico back in 1978 or 79, the purpose was for this organization there was no room for tribal line or anything like that. So if he heard or if he saw that and experienced that, I think the people who did that, not just the other people, not the regular people, but the leadership, as he alluded to, the leaders, that such leader name should be called and should be pointed out, and then the whole new accountable. But I'll stop there for now, Junior. I'll turn over to you, and then you can take over. Yeah, muted, Chief.
Thank you very much. And again, it's good to have you on here, JB. For me, I really want to leave this with you, the Unico people, so because y'all know what's happening.
No problem. We'll take over when JB start answering the Musa ability and Kumi and Jowia, And another one, and then we can bring you back. Then you take over that. But you know, Chris is a unique man. You know that man. Nobody knows which side you're on. But Chris, I know you've been following, and you probably read our brother Washington post today. You know, in fact, it's because of his post that we reach out to him and we got on here, and he's doing extremely well. I have to say, he's making great points. Things that have been said behind the scene, people are afraid to say it out, and the brother is saying it out here. And I think he's saying it out of love because he wants things to be resolved. He wants UNICO to be a great institution. So we're applauding for that, we're commending for that, and we want to say congratulations to him. That being said, Chris, if you have any questions, if you don't have questions, you can make a statement. If you have questions, your 2 questions to either of them, our brother Washington or Mr. Way.
Thank you, CEO. Let me say good evening to 2 of my senior men. During the boy election, people gave you on different side, and here on different side. But most of the time we go talk, he will call him behind closed door. He said, "Oh, junior brother, this." Yeah, so it's been a while. Just saying, thank you for being on the show. I read people Washington post soon this morning when Victoria Sendero shared on her post on her page. I took my own time. I went through it, and my question to people Washington is, why you couldn't direct that post to Minnesota first? Because Minnesota is the chapter you live in, and after the board election, as you mentioned, the chapter having you for the womb or for that election. Why you couldn't direct that post first to the chapter you formed before going to national Bill Washington? Do you think you did justice as a son of Nima that live in Minnesota, where Minnesota is highly defined now? That's my first question to you.
All right. So, thank you, Chris. Good to see you. My readout was to call Nima's attention. Probably we are kind of like leaving the meat of the matter and trying to go for the gun that killed it. The point the readout is making, which is clear, is that we should go back to Nima unity. We should not let or allow little side distraction to take us from the major thing. And in my subsequent readout, which I'll call a Regina, I refer myself to as a black woman. I'm the torchbearer. I'm shining the light so that people can see. If you think that my statement to call on the buyers and say, hey, listen, something happening here. Let's come together and nip it in the bud. Excuse me for my old English. I think go for the meat instead of looking for the gun that kill it. The point here is that it is visible. It is clear. They might not have reached you probably because of your proximity, probably because of who you are individually. But the tribal politics in Minnesota is an open secret. And it's having effect on the national. That's what I'm saying. It's having impact on the national. For example, we had a boy elections here in Minnesota between Gompo Wanaway and Roger P. Top members of the national committee or national leadership who were also on the Roger P committee would tell people that, oh no, we should not campaign to Washington. Washington is a minor man. Obviously, he will vote for Roger P. Let's go to other people that are attached to Washington behind that we think we can convince them not to vote for a minor candidate because we think probably they are more likely to vote for person that we will present to them, and they will not vote for them based on crap. Little did they get to know that I was in Guapo's camp. So it's a visible thing. It's not something that we are looking for somewhere. Some of us are sounding alarm and say, let's come back to Nima unity. We are allowing little things to steer us apart. Probably maybe it has not reached you, but it's not a hidden thing. Just call phone now into or I call it in Iowa. You will hear this argument there. So it's not a heavy thing. The reason why we're not making accusation, listen to this. There's not an accusation, there's an error speaking. We had a problem here. Mr. Senji, you revived the organization when the organization was dormant, but something is creeping under your leadership. Please look at it. Let's solve it so that NEMA unity can reign supreme. It's not about the trap. Maybe if the trap is making people to jitter, don't look at the tribal side of it, but look at the reality. Don't be jittered about the tribal thing. Look at the reality. The reality is that Minnesota, which is the largest chapter of the of UNICO, is in Tata. Probably you don't know that. And it's affecting the national politics. It is true. Listen to Vengon. Talk to Vengon. Talk to Vengon. Vengon is right there. If when I talk about trap, yeah, Vengon has not affected Vengon.
We've had Vengon here several times. Vengon has never alluded to that. So you're the first person.
Yes. Vengon is speaking from the leadership perspective. I am speaking from the elder who said there is a problem in our community. Let's solve it. It's not an accusation. It's calling leadership to their mind to say there are problem or there is a problem. The problem is that our community is getting fragmented. Let's bring our organization back together. These are what we have observed as elements that are undermining NEMA unity.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you. Thank you. The last one, not just question, but just a brief statement. The issue that going now, first I will call on the chapter you found, big brother.
I mean, you're not AC your car. You sweating it, huh?
Yeah, I get off it. So, as I said, two of your elders in Minnesota. First day that Minnesota settled a host issue. You go to Minnesota, you settle what happened in Minnesota. I've been calling I call going and so I'm calling being close to those poor members. You engage your chapter president. I will say on the show, you engage your chapter president. You have settled the issue in Minnesota. You have about national leadership. National leadership will not just come to Minnesota where you not take complete of them. You haven't get complete the national. This is what happening here. So you have settled the issue in Minnesota. That the president be able to unite the people in Minnesota. When the president make sure that Minnesota is united and beside the quick contact procedure, what they have said, even the elders that they were going to them, and let's just say they were respected by the leadership in Minnesota. So you have set the issue of them. Go down the matter. We don't want NEMA issue to go to court. We don't want it. It will be a bad precedent. So you have set the issue in Minnesota. So you have to handle the issue. You have to forget about national leadership on this thing. The issue in Minnesota, let the leadership in Minnesota be able to solve that problem so we can move forward. Thank you. I look forward to see you in Iowa. Thank you.
Thank you, boss. Thank you so much. Thank you, ACO, man. I'm at a guy president, man, whatever. Guys are full now.
Gas almost $5.
So we got our brother George on here too as well. And then JB as well. He sits with us now. The message he can talk politics. I wish Washington was sitting down too so we can talk the NEMA kind of thing and finish it. But I got one question for you, and I want that clarification, brother Nash, Washington before.
I'm sitting here. Yeah, go ahead.
At least you're on the AC. I'm looking at the Tabata ambassador on the AC. He maintain the AC sweating. So you
myself, I turn the AC off. Yeah, I turn the AC off
because the gas price, eh?
Yeah.
So I got a question for you. I just want a clarification before our brother George and the other guys can come in. And I'll follow up with my brother Way here. Did you say that UNICO National was having some issues or it was dormant before Sandy came over and helped to revive it?
Yes.
Okay. So, I wanted to clarify that before I ask my question. I think if you say that, some people would disagree with you. Sandy took over from who? Mr. Dennis, right? Who he took over from?
Because there were positional leadership. Listen, there are few kind of leaders that you want to understand about organization. There are positional leadership. People can be in position, but what they're supposed to do is not being done. And some people can come to the organization and revive it and bring the organization to do. For example, I gave you a little example. So we are all we have had the ministry as Minister of State for Presidential Affairs.
Before
right?
you go there, let's stick to the point. Not that.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the illustration I'm giving you so you can understand dogmacy from the red out.
Answer my question, though. Now, who Senji took over from? Who was the leader before Senji, a predecessor?
I think it's Don Dennis. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So that's what I'm saying. That was my point I was trying to make. So
dormant does not mean that the organization did not have leadership. Organization can have leadership and still be dormant. For example, I'll just tell you an example of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs in Liberia. Everybody knows that there was a Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Well, everybody will not know. But when McGill became Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, he made it visible. That is the point that people begin to see into it now. Oh, the ministry exists here. It doesn't mean that other people have not occupied that position before, but McGill made it important. Senji brought UNICO back to itself. There were leadership before Senji, yes, but Sen brought in the strength that UNICO has now and moving forward. That's why some of us are calling Sen to say, hey, your idea brought us on board, but we are slipping off. Let's come back to our minds.
Thank you. We all understand English, and then when you say dormancy, that's a clear definition of that. We know what it means. So you can't spin it. And I think Mr. Don Dennis, and other people who work with him will find that a little bit difficult to agree with, because if you look at it, we had him on the show last time, and he also made a point here. So where UNICO, there are several projects he initiated. He also inherited from other folks, and then he started doing some things. UNICO started coming together. The chapter started to increase and all that stuff. So when you say it was dormant, and then you say Senji revive it, I think that's subject to questioning there. So, but I will stop there again. We have the UNICO gurus on here. I'm not going to speak for Mr. Dennis. I will turn it over to George. I know, George, you've been following us, right? You've been following us. I will have to ask you this, though. From an unbiased vantage point, would you agree with Mr. Washington's point that Mr. Dennis's administration was dormant before Senji came in and revived it? Would you agree to that?
CEO, thank you so much, and thank you to all the studio guests here tonight. But I can tell you that since 1979, UNICO has always been in existence. There have been presidents after presidents. One thing that the CMG administration has done is we don't talk down on our past leaders, right? They all play their own part. They have all contributed to bring UNICO to where it is today. But when you look at the Minnesota chapter, let's go back to where Minnesota chapter was when CMG was the local president within that chapter. He revamped that chapter. He brought that chapter to light. And today, in fact, before he left from Minnesota chapter was one of the strongest chapter in the in the organization. There is no doubt that. In fact, JB on this thing can give credit to Mr. G on that. That Mr. G was the one who revamped the Minnesota chapter to make it more vibrant, to encourage more people to be part of that chapter today. So in other ways, Mr. CMG has played an incredible role to revamp UNICO in a lot of different ways, whether it is through progress, bringing more young people together, or just encouraging more people to be involved in the organization. So I think that where credit is due, we should give it to them, right? And that is the point that we have to make here tonight. So we are not going to denigrate any formal leader here, because national is different from local. And we know that CMG has done an incredible job within the local, in fact, within the national chapter. There is no, in fact, even President Don Dennis can attest to that. And this is the reason why President Dennis believed that we should give this thing to President G to carry on the agenda of the organization. And that's why UNICO, everybody wants to be leader today. Back in the day, I said I never wanted to be involved in UNICO. right? Because we thought that Unico was for all, for older folks. And then Sam G pulled us into Unico. And today Unico is now every young individual wants to run for office. So let us give credit to somebody who is actually bringing out the energy into us and then bringing out more momentum to the organization, CEO. So let's give Mr. G that kind of credit.
So what we are doing here, we are not discrediting him, in any way, shape, or form. I want to make that clear.
CEO, I think you are muted.
I'm not muted. Or you muted. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, so you muted, George. So we are not discrediting the current administration. We are just creating a check and balance, right? When you come on the media, you come on our platform, you say things that needs to be questioned. We will question that. We'll ask you to clarify. That's what we're doing here. But I'll stop there. Sewaty, I think it's your turn. You can ask JB your question, and then from there we move on. I think JB, if you have any clarification you wanted to make, I think you listened to us and you were trying to inject there. So please clarify anything that you want to clarify there before we go.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity again. So I think I initially thought when Mr. Washington was alluding to reviving Unico because of domestic, I thought he was referring to Unico, Minnesota. Because the time Unico, Minnesota existed, President Denner was the president on the national. And then after the amazing work of President G and his team, including myself, Kou, Vicky, and all the work prepared him to take over from President Dennis. So that was my assumption of when you said he revived a dormant chapter. I thought that was what he was alluding to, but I mean, he's here to clarify for himself. I would not speak for the man. So my picking Chris talk about Unico, Minnesota needs to focus on solving its problem. I think everybody here, I came from South Korea. I spent over 1,000 employees, almost $2,000 of my own money, invited them to my house. It's some of these stuff feel like it's personal. It's just something that you can't fix. And my frustration is that I always say, you can show up in my meeting to make flower. You can call me on the highway or fight, but don't show up in your relevant meeting that got to do with the poor and suffering women and children in Liberia and decide to make it out for a fight. That is not what this is about. That's not what leaders do. So at some point in time, this stuff will die down, and eventually we will come together. Like I said, I stepped down to take a vice presidential position after being the board chair. Think about it. Why would I want to be a vice president? I occupied the highest when I was leaving Unico, Minnesota. I had over 50 some more $1,000. I could have put down my resume, go Liberia, and go run for some kind of representative position. But to me, it's Mr. Steka and myself. He alluded to being in Danane. I'm doing this because I received 2 copy books from an organization I didn't know by that time. I think I was in 11 or 12 grade. That said it was Unico, Nibadian that in America gave supply to Nibadian in refugee camp. This is all I'm trying to pay forward up to this time. To me, that is more important than anybody's ego. Whatever I can do all of the work, you don't give me the credit. To me, is my conscience is clear. I'm just trying to pay it forward. That's all that matters to me.
Thank you. Sewaty, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Jim. Thank you, Mr. Way. I think the purpose for which you are here, I think you are laying all the points because, the communication, before asking a question or making a statement, the communication Mr. Washington wrote, the reason I kept asking him that question was, in every line, your introductory statement, once you read the preface, the person already know what you're about to say. So that's why I kept asking him, because the communication he wrote and I got copy did not specify, the Minnesota Union. So that's why I kept asking, because I got the communication. But like he came on now, and make it clear that it was the Minnesota chapter, he was talking about, and then he also made position about, how Mr. G, through his administration from Minnesota, he expanded the institution. But be as it may, he's answering, and for himself, like you said, you got your own position. The issue of the Queen County, I think, is the main thing you guys are already facing right now. And
Yes.
from the intent or what your lawyer said here, if I read the communication here, I'm seeing those counts that your lawyer made. I think it's around out of 4 or 5 people that join, maybe you'll be able to understand. But when you read that stuff, I think the first thing is it's about unfair, acting unfair to your queen, ignoring her medical circumstances, violating contest procedure, and acting in bad faith and all of that. So what I wanted to understand is in this thing, what being your approach to the current leadership? Because before reaching to the court, I think there might have been some backdoor discussion. I think that's where we are heading now, because fighting, all of this going to the level going, I think it should not be. So what remedy are you finding right now? Because taking Unico to a law or to the court, what solution are you finding beyond the court procedure?
And so thank you for asking. So I think if you followed the previous CEO question he asked a while ago, he asked me, is the order they worth it going to court? I told him categorically no. We all lose. Nima County as a whole does if we go to court. But at the end of the day, either we can run a family organization or we can run a legal organization. I eat my school fee. That mean I did that. You tell you. Yeah. So when you want family matter, we'll do family matter. We want legal matter, we'll do legal matter. The matter of what we have done so far, like how you call it, my beginning crazy. We've been recently undercover. The Bochi and myself spoke last night. Like we are saying, oh, the thing will go. Maybe first of all, I asked the Honorable Bochi, I heard that our letter went to the board and it didn't get the attention they deserve. I heard you categorically just step on it and refuse to put it on the floor. And he said no. That was not the case. Majority decided against us. Okay, what's about due process, which is clearly stated in Unico National Constitution? If you have a copy, Article 11, that clearly said not even the president, not even the board, nobody in authority in Unico has the power to deny, disenfranchise any member of Unico without giving that due process, presumption of innocence, the ability to examine the accuser and cross-examine and defend themselves. It's clearly written there. How does that work when you don't over order that you let a community decide a queen, a primary leader, as we speak, based on Facebook or poll is still ongoing. The last time I checked a few days ago, I stand to be corrected. The primary leading candidate on that poll. And somebody sit there and just remove her. No contest. Nobody say anything. And matter of fact, guess what? The current judge, who is Madame Tosi, she already went and put up for queen of a chapter already online. Her record is there for people to see. And then out of a sudden, she disqualifying the person ahead of the queen. Come on now, what happened to, morality or fairness? The other stuff, all I'm asking is, I will sit down with the Queen Contest Committee, the board, and all the stuff, give us an audience and give her the choice. Let us make a case for the queen. If we don't prove it or we don't succeed, that will be fair. But you can't just unilaterally be deny Unico Minnesota of our right. That is our right.
So if the issue is not resolved, sorry, CLT, I want to follow up.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
If the issue is not resolved, will you stick to the court procedure?
Absolutely, 110%.
But do you know that it has the propensity to maybe cancel the entire contest?
That burden falls on people who in position of power and refuse to exercise the power entrusted with them. I think I told them that. And the board chair and the president said, we go to court, we go to court. I think they are done their due diligence and all their critical analysis to done the process right.
Okay, great. Welcome back, CLT. We have Mr. Gompu Way here. Gompu Way is the board chair for Unico Minnesota. He wants to jump in there to make some clarity and all of those things. So after you, CLT, maybe we can direct the questions to him and then he can make some clarification there and we let him go.
Okay, John, thank you. I don't know where Mr. Way is going, but when I guess he's getting me. He made some grave allegation here that it worth asking him, because they are fighting for their queen, to be reinstated on the list. So now he's saying that the one of the queen mothers, because those are people who conduct the process. Now one of them voted online, and that means they are already taking SAR. So I don't know what the procedure says. So if they assume that the queen mother did that, if the queen is reinstated to contest, how fair do you take the process? Will you still trust the process?
Who was that question going to?
No, Mr. Way, JB. Did you get me?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, no, I got you. I told you, Sarah, welcome with her. Yes. So as we speak, if you look at Unico Chalan, I already put on a petition there for the chairperson or Manatose to step down from her current position.
Wow.
Yeah, it's there.
It's a news
tonight. Yeah. Oh, no, come on now, guys. This is not rocket science. Nimaka didn't for no president chairman. If you want legality, we will give it to you with plus. If you want family organization, we will run it like family.
Okay, we also need that because the reason I ask you that question that will be two appeal now. The appeal that your candidate be reinstated on the contest, and then the chair be quote unquote disqualified. That's an appeal. So if that don't happen, what will be your position? Will your queen still go on the process in contestation?
I mean, our queen can still go, but the thing is, who wants a competition? And the thing is, this is about raising money, right? Who wants to go into a competition knowing that somebody got their thumb on the scale in the dark side? They're basically going to a competition when it's already been decided. I mean, that's what they look at. If they want a level playing field for the beautiful women and contestants that are coming through, it's in our favor as leaders. That's when these leaders are not known when music are playing. Leaders are known during time of crisis. That's when you know leaders. And I don't, as a soldier, I don't shy away from making difficult decisions. I live making difficult decisions. And I definitely will say an example of my own. Going to put all these people they online to know they know who I am.
Okay, so my last question, Jim, before we go to Gompu, are you aware? I learned that your queen wasn't well. You did, they did all the communication, but are you aware that your queen traveled to Pennsylvania by road within that same vein to go for a program?
Absolutely, I'm aware. If I can elaborate, if you want me to.
So don't you think that could be one of the points, for the Reliance too as well?
No, basically, like looking for a point when the decision already been made. So if I can expand, if you want me to. So this lady had a prior engagement with one of the prominent, the richest person, sent to be corrected from Nima County. And you think if the queen really wanted to enjoy things, she could have flown to Philadelphia. Because of the advice the doctor gave her, she sat in the back of another car because of her engagement just to solicit funds for Unico National Queen Contest. Think about what kind of commitment it takes a person to go through that, sacrifice their own safety and well-being just to raise funds for you. And you use that against the person. Whatever school of morality you went to, your conscience should be highly questioned.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, we have Mr. Gompu on our way here tonight. Gompu is not here for a long time, so let's go to him. Gompu, you said you wanted to make some clarification. Let's hear you, and then we'll go to George Siawete, and then maybe we'll let you go. Go ahead, Chief. You are muted. Let me try to unmute you real quick. Okay, go ahead now.
Good afternoon, CEO and panelists, and good afternoon, our NIMA people. Good afternoon to all our listeners. Let me appreciate you guys for this unique platform. What actually got me to come here is some problem of communication and like the way my dear brother Chris put it out there. Even though he said he been calling me, that what I came to address. Mr. Chris Silly, you said Unico Minnesota should go by in-house and settle their problems. Well, Unico Minnesota People might have problem with one another, and even in a family, people who from one man, one past, they still have their problem, but they still remain brother and sister. In Unico, Minnesota, yeah, indeed, we love one another, we go to one another even, but there is problem. And problem, we are willing as a leader to solve those problems. But when we have problem with national, you will see it flying outside there. That's how you see it. But this problem is not Unico, Minnesota problem. So that's why I want to make it clear. With regards to co-contesting 2025, it's not Unico, Minnesota problem. It was problem with Cole and the person that was contesting involving Unico National. So we are all members of Unico National. So when something happens, we all will go there. But I'm glad because Unico Minnesota, we are in numbers always. I think that why you're taking it to be Unico Minnesota problems. It's not Unico Minnesota problem. Coming to now Washington issue. By the way, now is an advisor to the Unico Minnesota chair, the board chair. And now what he posted outside there, he explained the problem. He gave recognition to who deserve recognition. He explained the problem, and he asking the NEMA editors, asking leaders to come on the round table to discuss it. So I think he found solution to it already. That indeed they got a parable. They say the old man cannot live in the pantry. Then the old collar get missing, meaning culture. So he calling all the leaders, the editors, to come to solve this problem. Unico was not like this, as he's claiming to be a travel something now. Unico was not like that from a post. Unico was brother and sister, a family organization. So that's the clarity I want to give. With the Queen issue, I think the vice president touches all. So, and my dear brother Josh, how you doing?
Thank you. Before we let you go, we have to do due diligence to our panelists and let them to ask you one or two questions before you go. So, George, Unico Minnesota board chair is here. We will go to Nash very shortly and ask him our final question before we let him go too as well. But George, do you have any question for Gompo?
Thank you, Junior. Yes, I do have. But before I ask my question, I just want to say, Honorable Gompo Wonaway, congratulations on your election as the new chair of the Unico board. I wish you well in that position. But, Honorable Way, this is all happening on your watch. Your chapter is in disarray. You are on a social media platform trying to clarify things when you should actually be in the board meeting trying to handle stuff. This is happening on your watch, Mr. Way. Whatever we're discussing right now, we are literally washing our dirty clothes in the public when we should be handling our differences behind the scenes, just a week to convention. And we are sitting on platform discussing our internal disagreement. And to be honest, Mr. Way, this is your failure because you are the chairman of the board of Minnesota chapter. And all that failure is on you as the chairman of that chapter. And I'm just being honest with you, my big brother. This is your failure because it is your responsibility to make sure that that chapter is in order, that chapter is following process, and also making sure that we are working together. No matter how much we disagree with one another, we still have to work together behind the scene to get the organization moving. And that is the reason why our forefathers established this organization. They had their own internal disagreement, but they never show up on social media platform to really disagree. But my question to you, Mr. Gompo Wonaway, and just for you to be on the record, did you endorse the idea of the Minnesota chapter suing the Queen Contest committee? Do you endorse, as the chairman of the board, do you endorse that or that idea? If you do you think it is the right decision to do? If not, what are you doing to de-escalate the situation?
Okay. I am 100% signatory to that agreement. Any decision our chapter made, it has to pass through the board, and the 5 men on the board full endorse it. So it means we generally agree.
So technically, you are saying that UNICO should go to court, and that we should spend the due payers' money to go to court for litigation when we could be investing into the Irish Libanians, people who are looking for scholarship. But we should use substantial amount of money to go to court when you, as the chairman of the board, can literally handle this situation tonight and get everything squared out. Do you think that the white man will decide the case between us as Libanians? Mr. Chairman, this is a very fair question to you as the chairman of the board. And I'm coming to you personally because you control that chapter. Anything that will go wrong in that chapter, they will hold you responsible, because when they go to court, you will be the one to appear because you are the chairman of that board. Okay, other leaders within the organization will not be there, but you as the chairman will be the one to answer the judge's question. So are you saying tonight on the record, Mr. Gompo Wonderway, that UNICO should spend money through litigation instead of investing it through projects?
Okay, so the reference you get to the question, so I will address it, then I will answer you, because I try to make it straight that other will get chance to other people to ask their question. But they, we found a lot of solution to this, and it don't work. Let me say this: when we heard this, our queen was removed without a notice. We called. I think the vice president has explained also. I don't want to come and explain this again, but your question made me to explain it again. We call. We pick up phone and call first. I called the board chair, and the board chair said, "Hey, Gompo, I don't know about this, but indeed, I'm going to pursue it. But then let's use the diplomatic means and solve this problem." Noted, Chief. We're going to work together and do that. Call President G. That same Sunday, President G did not answer my call. I said, "Okay, Madam President of our chapter, can we find means to have a meeting? Let's try to bring it to the leadership attention that our queen had been removed without notice." So we had a little brief meeting, and she like, "Okay, let's wait. Probably the remover, they're going to write the chapter, and let's see what the letter say." So later, after 4 to 5 hours, she called me, "Hey, Mr. Chairman, we have received letter from the Queen Committee, and they take our queen for truth." We said, "Okay, let's meet on Monday. We'll discuss it late. Let's meet." Monday, I called Darakwan, one of our editors. Darakwan said, "Gompo, can I ask a queen, are you willing to contest? Are you okay to contest, because this is a health issue? Are you willing to contest?" She said, "Yeah, they gave me time that I'll recover, and the time is good now, so I can contest." I said, "Okay, if with that time you're able to raise money and make yourself comfortable to the winning position." She said yes to the question. Then Darakwan said, "This is easy, we're going to make it happen." Then I don't stay there. I called Debatozo. I write Debatozo. I call her, she don't answer. And I say, "Hey, my friend, sister, how you doing? Can you please give me a call? This is Gompo. I'm not calling you for leadership purpose, but I'm calling you on a friendly discussion. Why you take our queen from the chapter or disqualify our queen?" And she said, "Okay, I'll call you later." She called me by Minnesota time, then 3 something. And we talk about it. I said, "Okay, Deva, what I will tell you, this is off record, but between you and I, you know." First day she said, "Oh, my rapper nut. We're going to discuss that." Because many times she called me, "Hey, my brother, can you pick up me from the airport?" And we'll do that common as a sister. So we talk about that. I said, what she did, knowing it or unknowing it, we are sorry. The intent of this Queen Contest is to raise money for our union. So please, since you say that We will apologize to you. And anything she did, knowing it or unknowing it, we sorry. Let's move on. They will say, okay, Gumbo, we'll have meeting. As a member, we'll have meeting. I'll get to you. Tuesday, they were in my set talk. We say, okay, we have received letter from you, Gumbo. I said, oh, okay, our president has sent a letter. Fine, you guys go discuss it, and I will need a positive response from you, Deva. She said, yes. Wednesday, the board chairman called me and said, hey, Gumbo, I'm scheduling a meeting for us to meet on Friday. Gumbo, this is it. Gumbo, keep doing this on the diplomatic level. Let's move on. Let's just talk to the Queen, because the same way the Queen is doing voluntary work to raise money, the committee too are doing voluntary work. So if the fee they certify, let's try to settle and move on. We went to that meeting. I suggested that indeed we make inquiry letter to the committee, and the committee not respond. So please, let's hear from the committee. Thinking with my set mind that when we hear from the committee, what words will come from us. We don't want for it to be like case. Let the people of Minnesota just go and say, Queen committee, we are sorry. Let's move on. But then our president said, Victoria Sendolo, and that was clear that indeed we wrote letter. So the reason behind our letter, we had to explain it. They reached it to the entire editors that were in it, and they said, yeah, it's true. Yara gave the president chance to explain. The president explained. When she explained again, with my little knowledge, I came in again, tell the board chair, hey, Chairman, since we are heard from Victoria and the Queen, can we not ask questions? Let's go straight to the committee with that mindset that indeed we came to solve problems. Because you begin to ask questions from the other side, you must ask questions from the other side. Then they reached it to the editors, and they said, no, you gotta ask questions. Ask questions from Victoria and the Queen. And from there, we turned to the Queen committee. The Queen committee spoke. They reached it to all the committee members, all of them spoke. When they spoke, I said again, Mr. Chairman, can you please give the Minnesota people, we were 5, excluding Bernice, because Bernice was member of the committee. She member of the committee. So when we take with her, anything we say, they will say Bernice was, reconciled. So we said that Bernice stayed. Me, Dr. Kwan, co-chairman Roger Pay, Vice President Victoria Sendolo, with the Queen, file up. So it don't stay there. I say, okay, we set up Queen committee in our chapter, even though they are not in the leadership meeting, but you gotta add them on the call. Let hear from them. We add them. So I explain all those things. I say, Amanda, we want to hear from you first because you're on the Queen committee. Amanda said, Gumbo, what you are explaining, what I get to know was communication problem. So the Queen said she called one of the Queens, she don't feel comfortable to talk to Deva Tozer because the way she can talk to her on the phone is so rough, she feel. She talked to Queen Kaba, indeed, you talk to them and resolved it. So like how we went, we said, Amanda said, let bygone be bygone. Let all of us go ahead and do this. Let all of us raise the money for the organization because we want to complete the Women Empowerment Project. We want, like you said, we want to get scholarship. We want to help our people. That suggestion came from a down-to-earth woman, hard-working woman like Amanda. She said that, and it was buttressed by all of us that went for the meeting. That applying us. So I said, okay, since that's the case. The president raised concern before going for the meeting. She said she was attacked by Pandora. Pandora was talking about tarnishing a repetition that indeed, if you're calling yourself president, you lack of integrity. That's how she started this. And when she said this, I said, okay, Madam President, since everybody said we should carry back appeal to this and just appeal, let it out our Queen. Even that Okman gave some parable that say you can't be out of the system and change the system. Let's try that our Queen be in the system while we try to change some things in the system. So this is the pattern. Since you want to respond because your character or attack, I as a board chair will speak, then we will turn it to that Okman, and from there maybe the Queen they will reach it to us, she respond. We send it back to the people we apologize to, or we want to resolve the thing with. Then, of course, the elders will speak. When we get there, I told the chairman, and I spoke, Dr. Kwan spoke, the Queen spoke. Then the chairman said, indeed, we got our part, and the elders had to speak before the Queen committee. I said, in my right mind, people who brought case, they had to, talk between themselves. If anybody reject, then the elders will come in. So let our appeal or our saying go directly to them. The chairman said, no. Yeah, the people speak. The people speak. They gave it to Jenkins to speak. Jenkins said, no. The president of a chapter should speak. And there where the president began to tell her that you don't have to attack me when we come to case. You don't have to discuss my character when we come to this. This is how I know you should explain XYZ. There where we came in, and from there, who spoke? I will make it clear, one of the elders that you depend on his statement. Martin Dollier said, I will say this. After the Queen Committee said they stand by their word, Martin Dollier said, I will say this. If I enter Minnesota, you don't give me water, you should not give me water. You don't even want to speak to me, you should not speak to me. I stand with the Queen Committee. That how the
let me understand something here, because I listened to veteran Way tonight, JB. He said your Queen was not afforded due process. But everything you just mentioned right now, it seems to me like there were due process accorded to your Queen, and you even accepted to apologize because of the wrong that she did. I'm quoting your explanation.
No.
So if you said due process,
Gian, I said that's the same thing the vice president said. This will place a call, hey, this thing is meant for all to have fun. That's why I said probably you don't get me. For all to have fun, you gotta go and appeal and just make the Queen Committee to be certified, because that voluntary work they are doing. Why it's true that the Queen is doing voluntary work to raise money for people to go to school, for the project to finish. The people are doing voluntary work, but you can't be out of the system and make correction. So you gotta go and just appeal to them and just go. Then we say, okay, then you just want for the appeal, then the Queen to say sorry, not big deal. You gotta go and say sorry. But there was no judgment that they would throw question and we would throw question that they would get a verdict. There was no.
Okay, great.
So I come into your question. Because you do it like, okay, Gompo, we are making Minnesota chapter to look like this. No, Minnesota chapter made a lot of effort. From there, we started calling all the others. I call Panyan Joki when you're in Georgia. I call Saint G when you are not here. Even Saint G wife was calling me every time. Gompo, you gotta do this, you gotta talk. We slept on the line. Me along with the vice president, she was in my state. We put her on the line until she fell asleep. She was not able to respond to anything. So what I'm saying this is we make a lot of efforts. After our efforts, we say, okay, send with CC copy to these people. You gotta write them officially. We write the president and the board chair. The board chair convenes meeting on Wednesday. The Wednesday meeting we went, the board chair will choose to only explain the decision of the committee. So I call him to order. I said, Honorable Chair, I call you to order because we wrote you. You're supposed to explain or give our letter to the secretary to read our letter. He said, oh, give me chance. I will still explain about the letter. I said they have to read our letter. We took appeal to the board, and he did what he could do in his leadership. And majority of the people were saying, I fall with Minnesota. We are appealing. This is for fundraising. Then he said the result have been posted outside there. And one of the mistakes that I've seen here is the result did not come from posting of the result did not come from the committee chair. It came from the board representative on the committee, which was Molly. He posted in the chat room, like seriously, and the committee are coming. Sir, 1 second. The committee have to report to the board. They don't report just in the chat room like that.
Gompu, hold on. Gompu, 1 second. Gompu, 1 second. The host is in the background. So when you don't judge, you were next, right? He just texted me that he did okay. So Gompu, do it quick. Let's give you at least 1 minute. So we'll go back to Josh and JB and go to Chris until the rest of those guys can come back on the camera.
All right. Thank you. From there, the board, all member of the board spoke, and in regards to we can call the Queen Committee and speak to the Queen Committee to please reconsider their decision. Let John Minnesota, everybody said it, and he said he's staying with the Queen Committee statement. The board chair that I asked, I said, did we take vote? Why can't we take kind of a critical decision? We cannot take vote. He said, no, we cannot take vote on this. The decision have been made and have been posted outside there. So we stand by this. So if you can't find justice in your own house, you can find justice outside there. Going to court does not mean that we are not part of this or we against raising money. We are not. But we just want for the fair thing to be done. If the court say, hey, this is a fair for them to remove the Queen, Gulos. If they say, hey, y'all join the Queen today, once they say they are the Queen today, we drop the case. That's all we offer. Therefore, our Queen to be added.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Way.
Yeah.
So just on that point, Mr. Way, from all that you are explaining, one of the reasons you guys like that one.
Josh, I think you got 3 questions, Josh.
1 minute, Josh. So, Mr. Way, we got other speakers. So when you answering, if it will be question, I think you should reduce it a little bit because we got a main guest, Mr. JB Way and that of Nash Washington. So I think you just came in to provide some clarity. So George, you made a question.
We get George. Just giving Gompu all the time.
That George can make it long. I know what George coming from.
No,
Yeah,
because Gompu is the face of the Minnesota chapter right now.
Yeah, but you got a vice president too.
Oh, the vice president.
The vice president, yeah. Gompu that just go, man. I just kidding, yeah. I ain't out of politics. Just go ahead, see everything.
Your man, Georgie, that national representative, so let him talk.
JB, hold on. Wait, okay, the chairman.
No, we lost Gompu.
But since he's gone, I just want to make a brief point on that. I feel like one of the reasons Minnesota overwhelmed elected Mr. Gompu Wanaway is that because of his, background, his leadership skills to be the chairman of that board. But looking at what he just explained right now, he just failed the Minnesota chapter. He just failed them because Mr. Way is the last decision maker in the chapter. He should be able to control the chapter and make sure that we are not washing our dirty clothes in the public. And Mr. White, to be honest with you, you have failed the Minnesota chapter, and you're my big brother, man. But you just failed the Minnesota chapter because the fact that you even signed a document that we should go to court in Nimba County, we don't sue each other.
No, but Judge, 1 minute.
No. Y'all wait now. Y'all wait 1 second. Because in Minnesota, in Nimba County, we don't sue. No matter how much we disagree with one another, we don't go to court. We take our differences to our elders for discussion. And the fact that the chairman of the board of Minnesota signed his name on the document and endorsed that document that we should go to court, it is a disgrace on our community. And I think that Mr. Gompu Way should go back in the drawing board right now and call the entire Minnesota chapter leadership together and come together and say, guys, this is about Nimba County, because the Grandians or other folks are laughing out on this platform. Let's be honest. The people say that Nimba County washing their dirty clothes in public. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is unacceptable, Mr. Way. You, as the leader of that chapter, you have failed the chapter, and therefore you should own up to that. And I think the Nimba County community deserve an apology from you. And in Iowa, our president gave you the platform to apologize at that General Assembly for taking us to court and dragging us through this thing. It's not good, Mr. White. It's not good. And the others will be disappointed. And you actually endorse other people to come discuss the Nimba County community event on social media. Mr. White is
okay, Judge, that go to the next person. We have our guest, so we can't hold that for long. Yeah, Secretary, go to the guest.
Yeah, so 1 minute. You know, we got all of this conversation, right? From what I saw in the code, the communication, I think the GOMPU is not an individual making decision. I think the leadership, from what I've understood from the vice president and the other leadership here, that they exerted all efforts, and at this point, the Queen was disqualified, and they are trying to find legal remedies. So I don't know what was the position of the leadership to why it is true, because the ad hoc committee for the Queen, I mean the Queen mother or whatsoever how you call it, for the Queen contest is an ad hoc committee. So the ad hoc committee decision, does it surpass the national leadership decision? How did we arrive here? So that's another question too. So if you are slapping GOMPU now, that's why I'm getting a little confused too.
Well, see, I will just talk about that committee, right? That committee was set up by the president. The committee drafted a policy that would govern the Queen, because they decided that, because the same thing the committee was afraid of is where we are today. They say, you know what, let's do this thing balanced. Let's make sure that everybody will be satisfied with whatever policy we are going to draft. And guess what? The committee did not say we are going to roll the policy out. The committee said we will send the policy to the board. Then the board take a second look at it. Because the committee was set up by the president, they never wanted for that committee to be biased. So they said, let's send it to the board. And they sent it to the board. The board made their recommendation. And then the board approved the recommendation. And the committee sent it to the chapters.
Judge, we override the guests. I think we are separated. So we need to respect. We can't have our guests. If anybody from the executive want to address what is happening with the Queen committee, they can have their time. That give our guests the time.
Thank you.
Yes, getting guests on the show is a difficult thing. Yeah, we can't have them sitting at the back and just talk.
Yeah,
go to the guests when you have something on the question. We get to the guests to do that.
Yeah, and from the day I checked, he had not been secretary for UNICO, so he's not a
well, John, when you spoke, GOMPU spoke, then we'll go to the guests. Let's do it like that. When we make the guests the spectators, then will be to get guests on the show is difficult, so that respect them too.
Yeah, we're almost running out of time, so I think our guests been here now for a little while, so we will get to Mr. Chris City. I don't know whether he asked did you ask Chris? I don't know. Who's there? I'm seeing Prince Williams. What?
Yeah, that North Dakota man, Prince Williams. So maybe you got questions, go to him and go to Chris.
Yeah, but Chris keep coming. I don't know how. Yeah, Chris. So do you have questions for the both guests? Because we want to wrap up.
I have one question that I'll just be a statement and I'll leave it done. River GOMPU, as I've been said, the co-chair from Minnesota, and I don't think the air laws will just conclude with the ad hoc committee. I don't think so. That will be real to Nima people tonight on this show. The board in a Winston River GOMPU, I don't think we'll just get an endorsed report from the ad hoc committee. As I said from the previous stage here, there were errors made on the highway by the leaders of Minnesota. Then they take the responsibility and solve that issue. Going to court will be bad precedent. Let me repeat myself. Today, people have issues with St. James, Minnesota. Other people.
But Chris, is that your point?
The leadership.
It's a similar point
but
today.
they will sound a bad precedent in UNICO National. As a board chair, people, I will advise. We still have time for now. Even now, Tuesday, we still will be behind closed door. That's what I've been calling you for. Hear the issue up. Court will not solve the issue. It happened before during the other people regime, so I think we know how Unico went for that year. That would be a bad precedent. And my question, in a single question to before the answer is, do you think the Queen Committee, the guideline that was set by the committee, maybe you were JB answer or you can answer it. Do you feel that Minnesota followed the full procedure? And at the end, when you appear before the board, did you guys listen to the elders' recommendation that were given to you? If yes, please let us know. Thank you.
So, JB, you want me to speak?
Yeah, go ahead. I was not in that meeting with the editor, so go ahead.
So, we went there, and this thing we discussed it behind the scene. And what was discussed behind the scene, and what I said. So I know what guideline you think Ella gave.
Yeah. Honorable Chair, before you proceed, let me clarify a certain thing. So I know the speaker before us said Unico will call that due process. Calling the accused to bear honor cover to the accuser is not due process. I hope we all know that. Can we all agree? So the presumption that because the woman went to go bed, that means she's guilty because somebody told her to go bed. That's not how due process works. If they beg in sake or for the sake of peace and the greater good of Nimakate, that's taking the high ground. That is not due process. So my second point is somebody said, "Oh, you Shin or you Gompu because he alone run Unico Minnesota." I don't know what planet you live on. The planet I live on, board chair does not run Unico Minnesota. You dreaming? They vote at one vote. That's what we do here. When you practice democracy, you apply all of its principles. That's how it's supposed to be. We're not national where the board chair can just veto everything he wants. I run the board, yeah, so I wrote the playbook. So yeah, good luck with that shit. So I mean, at the end of the day, is George here taking the moral high ground, or y'all waiting to spend money to go to court? We don't have to. Y'all can overturn that decision today and we'll go to the Queen contest. So the owner of the issue is on you, and now we are reacting to what you did. You can't blame me for keeping my Queen card. What kind of school of psychology did you go to?
Thank you.
Take it easy, VP.
No, seriously. Well, can I respond to that?
No.
You don't need to respond. You don't need to respond.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, today it is said the Queen is reinstated. That case is canceled. We all go to Iowa. We basically begging you to give you our money. How does that make sense? And then you blame me up. But yeah, I'm begging you to pull my Queen back, so I give you my money to spend it on your program, all of the things I got for our poor children in the market. So how do you become a better president in this case?
And to add on to the CEO, just 1 second, is all the editors like
CEO now I'm presiding.
Okay, now Washington said we got all the editors. Let's assume that we can talk to our Queen, Minnesota Queen, send the people we don't want to change their decision. Because one of the things the board chairman said is, why if we add a Queen and all the people resign and the other Queen not willing to contest? Oh, you take somebody from there unlawfully, then you want to add a person, then you say, why if the Queen committee resign or the other Queen want to go unlawfully? No editor get to us and say, hey, Minnesota people, your case is cool, but y'all know why? Just to maintain the integrity of the Queen committee, we beg you, the other take the wrong. Next time, we all will come together and support your Queen. We beg you, just for peace sake, no editor came to us to talk to us. Even Saint G live in the state, to be honest. I've been calling Saint G. Saint G did not call me. I called him, even this gone Sunday. He told me he will call me, but up to now, he did not return my call. So I've been reaching out for the discussing. So, Mr. George, those are issues we've been reaching out. But no editor, even you, including you never place a call to me saying, oh, you see that thing in the chat room. When I even told you that Minnesota will come up with their result, you have never called me. I posted that in that chat room. I said, everybody should remain calm, patient. We will come up, we will be speaking. So probably we speak through the noise that everybody fighting one another, or we speak through legal means. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the host is here, so we had to go now. So I just wanted to ask you and the both. I think you being a board chair, when Josh was saying he was speaking, I got a little contract. I didn't understand certain point. Wampu, you there? Okay.
I think it might have fallen off.
Yeah. No, he's there. I think he's a little engaged. So I know we are doing this, out of good faith. We try to get a view of everyone. For me, our role as institution is to get a clear picture of what is going on. Because from what I've understood from these people, what they are looking for here, my only thing is getting conflicting, because they are demanding the organizer of the Queen contest, or the Queen mother, how you call them, the chair, to resign, because she are taking side. I think we'll try to get to the Queen mother as well. But I wanted to ask Gompu his position too as a board chair, but he's not, on the show. So our host is here. So in few minutes now, I don't think there are questions. So in few minutes, we will want the guest, to provide a little information or a closing comment in 3 minutes. Then we can let go of you people. Thank you for coming. Host, that's it, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Before we go to Nash, to start with that, this issue of tribal discrimination, I think Nash is the second person raising it. The last time we had the guy from the other team that we hosted a debate with him here, he raised that issue, that the part of Nima he from, people always say, oh, they are not from Nima, they call the Crown people, and they do all of those things. I don't think UNICO, which is the biggest organization should be dwelling in that direction, if that is true. Because where there is smoke, there is fire. And this is the second person now raising that issue on their show. I want to call on Big Brother George and the rest of the folks. Y'all please try to work in that direction if anything or such is happening within UNICO. Nash, thank you for raising the issue, and thank you for being on here tonight. It's been a wonderful conversation with you. In 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes, just give us a party comment, maybe something we didn't touch and you want to touch on it. Do that for us, please.
You're muted. You're muting very quick.
Yeah. Thank you. We became more of a spectators then. However, thank you that you remember that you call us here to provide clarity on what we wrote to the community. I live in Minnesota. I was practically on a vehicle with the Queen after she asked me to drive her to Pennsylvania to make some lobbying on behalf of UNICO, that she had just taken surgery on her, and that's why I advised her not to fly. I had my ticket to go to meet Musa Berete. I had to cancel my ticket to drive the Queen to and fro. So I was in the car, I was with the Queen when most of these things were being discussed. But that is not my point. My point is not to litigate Queen contest, who was right, who was wrong, and what happened. That is not my concern. Go back to my readout to understand where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is that UNICO should go back to its founding principle. We are dividing ourselves on little things. We are talking about tribal stuff and everybody is jumping up and down with the tribal thing. The tribal thing was not the only thing that we identified. People who are supposed to be elders in a community have already taken side. They put themselves in some kind of bracket somewhere, in some kind of group. And I will just, give it this way. There is an other elder in a community, in the National Nima UNICO community, who criticized the current leadership. They say, hey, the way you people are sending money to Liberia or planning to send money to Liberia in the tune of $120,000. We don't send money to Africa like that. You're trying to send him money, bit by bit, because he belongs to a camp that can summon him and say, "Did you criticize us?" And he has to go back and forth with him and stuff like that. The last meeting we had, we confronted him on it. We are calling on Nigerians to say, let's come back together and let's come back to the founding principles of UNICO, which is unity as the armed brother of purpose. What is obtaining now if we don't stop it? Like the others say, if they come for the Catholic and the Protestants don't talk, when it comes for the Protestants, the Catholic will not talk. We are seeing little things happening, and those things are leading us in the wrong direction. Our call to ministry, in fact, to UNICO, is that Mr. President CMG, the current ministry, I call UNICO that we have, is your brainchild. But along the way, it seems as though you are drifting away from your dream. Do not be like Moses. Moses took the children of Israel out of Egypt, crossed the Red Sea. They all had a wonderful thing. However, Moses did not enter the promised land. Mr. G, we want you, after your presidency, when you sit down and look at UNICO, live a prosperous UNICO. UNICO should not only exist when you are president, and after your presidency, UNICO go back to her dormancy. We want UNICO to remain vibrant. That's our call. I am not here to highlight tribalism. My mom and dad are minor people, but all my kids are born by Gyo women. We're born by Gyo women. So I'm not a tribalist. I don't intend to dwell on the tribal stuff. You highlighted it, that's what I'm talking about. But it was just the tribal thing was just one of the many issues that we raised. And from all fairness, while we're raising our red out, which is for us to come together, you just listen to what is going on behind the scene, in front of the camera, and somebody was just telling us, oh, we can't come here to talk about these things on the camera. But know that these things are happening behind the scene. And there are more to it. Thank you for having me on your platform, Mr. Host and the panelists. Thank you very much. I am just from work, and now I beg to leave if there is no question to me.
Thank you, Joe. I wanted to say something. I wanted to say something quick before Nash and JB leaves. Sincerely, we didn't have our first guest could not come today, so I was the one who reached out to them. I think somebody made a comment. I think says Mina, oh, DK doesn't want for George to talk.
JB gave his closing statement. Let JB
hold on now, George. George, stop now. George, stop. I hold your phone. Brother. So the comment I'm making is George is my very good friend. Forget about election. George is a panelist here. When we as panelists come here, the best we can do is to respect the guests, give them the time that they are here for. When we call to bring the guests today, most of them were running from work and they promised to come. When we have opposing view to what the guest is saying, the best we can continue to do is in our disagreement, we give them the time to talk as guests. That was my point. I'm not stopping George. George is a panelist here. Anytime George can just join this show and say what he wants to say. So I don't have anything against George. Y'all know George must have come a long way. To use JB and Nash, thank you for coming. I know when we sent the invitation today, we're on a short notice, and you guys decided to come. So that's all I have to say. I've not been able to really melt into this election thing because I know the family connections and the relationship that most of our built over the years is online. So I want to respect that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DK. Nas, thank you for being here tonight. I spent a wonderful conversation with you. I took time to go through your write-up. I think you're raising a very genuine point, and we will flag it here after the show as a news. And then the radio station in Nimale are going to read it, and we're going to make more emphasis to that. So thank you for being on the show here tonight. It's been a wonderful conversation with you. Mr. JB Way, great on being on here too as well. Let's hear you in 5 minutes. If there is something that we didn't touch, you want to touch it before we let you go.
Okay. All right. Again, thanks for the opportunity to interact with you guys today. It has been a pleasure so far. And to be honest, this is a self-inflicted wound. This is a decision that nobody considered lightly. It does not even have to happen in the first place, and it's not even too late. We can all sit down. Like, all we want is fair treatment. That's all we're asking for. Like we already said, what we've been doing behind closed doors, who we've been talking to. With my position on the national leadership, I got connection. I can take the phone right now, call the board chair, call President G, the Lecker Moody, even Mr. Zoe, or I can talk to them. But with everything we have been doing undercover to try to see if to bring this case to an amicable solution, it turns to be it's not working. So tell me, what do you suppose that we do? In the name of fundraising, we should disenfranchise somebody that is deserving. Think about it, guys. This woman spent her whole life raising money for our community. And so for whatsoever reason, she's not giving due process. Her case is laid out. It might not be perfect, but give her the audience for her case to be heard. But people with competent or jurisdiction not calling her to apologize undercover, telling her to write letters. That's not how due process works. That is absolutely, that's not what we're about. At the end of the day, this is not too late. The administration, the lack of President G, Honorable Cato, these are times like these are when leaders supposed to shine. I repeat, times of crisis, that's when you're supposed to know leaders. Basically, you can't point in the army, we call dereliction of duty. I heard somebody told me, say, y'all wait when we get to the convention, maybe the General Assembly will overrule. You serious? Why they don't overrule? Or somebody step on the issue does not make it on the floor. So that another tactics. And for me, we still got time. And this issue should be addressed now. I know somebody here said, yeah, your hiring partner here, I want to real somebody that will get to fire, y'all hire me. I'll provide you free for service. I owe nobody. For all of my relationship, the level with George and all of these people, what you see is what you get. So at the end of the day, I thank you for what you do. Thank you for the service to so some of us and other aspiring Ibadians. And I look forward to interacting with you guys. And I hope common sense can prevail on the current leadership, that they can restore our queen, and that we can all go to Iowa and raise money for the upcoming queen contest. And my final one will be like, I think I've already told you that I already started. In the next 24 hours, I will start a petition on a UNICO general chat room to get signature to tell the Queen Mother to step down from her position as the current chair of that committee, or completely step down. Guys, think about it. I know some of you are laughing or smiling. You can even kick my queen out. It doesn't matter. The remaining people have to have a playing field. It just got to be fair. If you got to kind of cloud hanging, the outcome becomes questionable. It's not rocket science.
The other announcement for the other announcement pay. Yeah. What for announcement?
I'm sorry. What did Mr. Wade say?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah. So basically, even if my queen.
DK, you're not coming clear. Let our guests to conclude now.
Go ahead, JB, go ahead.
Yeah, so my goal for my petition is, even if my queen does not contest, the rest of the beautiful women remaining in the competition, I want them to get a fair treatment. Make sure that when they win, nobody will say, oh, somebody cheated for you, somebody did that for you. We just want, if somebody is using that platform to raise money for the people that are in need, all you got to do is get them a fair treatment. That's all we ask. Again, that will be all for now. Thank you, guys. I've been also time hanging out with you guys. See y'all.
Thank you so much for being here, Chief. Thank you. Well, you listen to JB and Nas. As always, we stay here for our post analysis. But y'all go take problem in my hand, George. Y'all go take problem in my hand. Y'all finish you.
They're on fire. They're on fire.
Until the result can come in, you guys have to do your best. Again, that UNICO team, that's internal issue. Thankfully, it came on here. Maybe you will get the internal attention or the deserved attention that it needs so that it can be resolved. Now let's start with you, George. Your analysis and your parting comment in 3 minutes.
Oh, thank you, Genion. I mean, we just hear it clear. This was a complete setup. This was a setup. These folks were coerced by DK Wade because this team played right in the camp of DK Wade. It played
No, Judge.
DK Wade was the one who reached out to his people that let's come on this platform and then watch
Judge.
Indication. This is a political land. You can hold me accountable now. You can hold me accountable after our land, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you can hold me accountable. But I can tell you for a fact that everything those guys said, it was benefiting DK Wade because he wants to have chaos in the other folks' camp. Look at Nash. Nash, Mr. Washington, we really appreciate you for coming on the show. But there were a lot of misinformation that you are getting and not confirming this information, and you are even doing a write-up on it. Right there, for example, you just mentioned about the $120,000 about the elder was Summer. Who was someone the elder in our community that we know that we respect? These are misinformation that requires clarification, right? So there are a lot of things that happen in this conversation that I feel that it played right in the playbook of DK Wade, and he feel like if he bring there's a man who was hiding from the debate, and now the only people that could channel his conversation will be people that he can bring to tarnish the reputation of the administration. And that is unfair to us, as you know, that is unfair. And I feel like DK, if you want to man up, let's bring other people. This is a campaign season. The atmosphere is hard. People will kind of do stuff to appease you. But let's do the thing right. If we want to bring platform guests, these guys are really great. I already admire them. But Unico and Nima County, we don't wash our dirty clothes in public. We discuss behind the scene and then come up with resolution. And I will ask you to talk to JB Wade, since he's the vice president of the Minnesota chapter. How can we come together to make this thing work? Instead of you telling JB, go on BKS and go spit it out. Just go bust the secret. What we've been talking about, that's what he just did. It's unacceptable, it's unprofessional, and I think DK should not even be a candidate in this coming election. He just, that was just unacceptable. That was just unacceptable.
Thank you, George. I like the way you express yourself very well. I hope and pray that when DK or the other people are doing that, you will not interrupt them when they are doing so. Now, again, just a little disclaimer there. These people came as a guest. I don't know what happened behind the scene politically, but I want to say that they came as a guest and they didn't appear here to run campaign for DK or any other thing. But since DK name was mentioned, and I believe that his pressing was mentioned in this conversation, we'll go to him, DK, in 3 minutes. You can give us your analysis and your party comment too as well.
John, thank you. During campaign time, when you are not careful, you build or break relationships that have been built forever.
Mm-hmm.
So when I decided to contest as National Secretary General, I did it because of my conviction. When I decided to step aside and prepare for myself for the next journey in my life, I did it because I believe in myself and believe that I can do it. The rest is a side discussion. There's the popular saying I always say when I used to be active in politics, I say, if you can't convince them, confuse them. So if there's a brother of yours, a family member of yours that you have relationship with for years, and you think you can't convince them, confuse them. Let them not know your next move. So, Joe, I have been trained for this. I have been trained for this for years. So George is my brother. Let him be. That's all I can say. There are other thought when I say about contesting, it was a joke. But I think reality is setting in, so they get all over the place. So I respect him. He's my friend for many years. But I think George is saying here that when he see me, he will never say in my face. Again, he's my family. When we started this show, June, you are aware, for over a year ago, we started when our by-election in Booyah were approaching. And all of you here who are panelists, including my little brother Chris, you guys know how it's difficult to get guests. And sometimes at the 11th hour when we start the show, guests will go. So getting guests here to come for all of us to talk, it's a fun thing. Georgie is part of the platform. So we cannot hold Georgie opinion or thing that we can say to other people as something that we hear or know. George is my brother. That's all I can say. Thank you. Like campaign time, yes, so people will say plenty things. At the end, they will come back and you will settle in and not glass to go. I have nothing against him. Whatever George want to say throughout the electoral process, he had my go ahead. I approve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DK. Let's go to Siawete and I'm seeing Prince William. Prince, I don't know who Prince is.
Yeah, he keep being behind the camera.
Yeah, y'all bring it on. Y'all bring it on, please. Yeah, I don't want to saying the link. Y'all bring it on, please.
Yeah, we're not seeing him on the camera. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's struggling with the camera. But Chris and Prince in the same state. So that North Dakota man, maybe he wants to say something about North Dakota. Nobody know.
Okay, great. So, Siawete, let's go to you. Then we can go to Chris, or Chris will take us home.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. I mean, the show was firing one tonight. Quite frankly, like I said, our role here is to, get a size of everyone, stake actors within UNICO. And I think all the guys who spoke tonight, they are all, knowledgeable to what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I got like 3 or 4 positions. The guests they were all here. I made our position very clear. What is happening is not very unique to our institution, because you have an organization that is being ruled by leaders, that is being governed by leaders. The only thing I really have problem with the write-up, and I kept raising, was, when you are doing a write-up, there are certain things in English they call preface, right? Sometimes in other words, it's a summary. The opening line, once you write that beginning of that statement, you already know what the president had to write. And everyone, a good reader, that will go to the depth of the conversation. So that's where the problem was, because he did a very good writer. The only thing he should have been, specific about, Minnesota, in our writer, because if you talk about how, the president, the role he played, how it was dumber, and he categorized the entire, just read that writer, you know what I'm talking about. So for me, that was where I had that issue. But to be frank, I don't want to be the issue of that tribal card and thing everywhere in the world. For me, I see that it's politics. I witnessed election. You see, even America, you see, East Africa, Kenya. Jim, there's nowhere in the world you go to election. That's why they say it's a 45-minute game. For me, I don't want to say it's the right thing. Tribal politics, personally, I condemn it. I grew up in Ganta, I speak the Mana, the Kio, the Mandingo, and all of that. Nobody can go there with me. But the reality is, when you go to election, there are certain things they call stronghold. Once you can make your case, and another thing, mind you, when you are talking about somebody raising point in UNICO, or what I've understood is that once your message, you can build your stronghold, you have a side. Because nobody will go to election. You see DK and George, they firing tonight. When we go over there, we eating GB together, we do all these things. It's on the social media, it's on radio, because everyone are making their side. And another thing too, you are making the issue of tribal thing I mean, it's another thing to convince or to invoke sentiment, right? To be frank with you, how the people you're advocating for, that just make it clear here. Are they due paying members? That's one of the questions. How often do they regularize a startup? Because people who regularize a startup, from what I know in your organization, are people who got legitimate right to vote. So if you can convince, your audience, that's another thing, right? And my thing tonight too is that Georgie Kimmer, he condemned Gompu. The issue of this Queen Content, I think the sole purpose is to raise funds for the organization, right? The organization, I think the institution is not, they don't have any means of raising funds. I think it's from due payment and all these things they are doing, other benevolence, right? And other goodwill. The problem here, I think the leadership too has her own lapses, because if they can sit there, the chapter or maybe people who are conducting this process go into court. Because if you look at the entire process, they let it inform the people, the team, that she was not okay. And when you read our entire conversation, you get to know that the reading all the stuff I got here and the communication in the chat room, she sent her communication. The communication by registering all of that, she got her team led by someone who is heading that team, right? So if you are disqualifying this lady, did you inform the team? But you said you send, she did not send the excuse directly to you and other. So for me, I feel that there are a lot of contradicting stuff there. What I would suggest to the leadership is to avoid all of these things. For me, I don't think it was really prudent to disqualify that person because she had medical deficiency along the way. So the proceeding, for me, I got a problem with it, because if you get someone who was not well, how do you determine that the person was okay when the person refer you to the team head? So the communication should have been done to the person. So you see, all of these things, at the end of the day, no one is infallible to mistake. People will make mistake, right? People will make mistake along the way. But that thing about, for me, my skin can be very cool when people keep on acting about trouble. I don't like it. Because for me, you see me among the Manon people, I can say all of my best friends are so Manon, because I grew up in Ganton. So these things, I mean, it's a better way to say it. Sometimes when you lost election, the pain too is high, and the deceit in our community too, that's another thing. But the leadership and that of the guys, they got better role to play. The intent of forming this or having this Queen Contest is to raise funds and to make and to have our unity across the place. So the president, including Josh, if you're saying gonna put them to fail, I think the leadership also have a stake to play, because if you say that the people go to court without calling them to order up to now and find a very easy remedy, then that's a problem. So thank you, Gian. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. I know Josh went so political, my brother tonight, which
don't mind how many
as always.
So the reason I went political and then ran away from the debate the other day.
I agree with you, and that point is very valid. Man, Joey, and I think the person we should blame is Siawete. What? We should blame Siawete for that, because he's the
DK is the most targeted candidate in the election. We will not come to the platform yet. We will not come in debate. Debate did not bet the man will win.
Thank you. The ambassador, welcome, man. 2 minutes, take us home.
Thank you. You gave other people 3 minutes, 2 minutes, no problem, say accepted.
No, but the reason why I want you to talk much in a unique thing is because you are independent person. Now, if you talk too much,
I'm a stakeholder. I'm still a stakeholder. I'm a leader of Unico National. This is an issue, right?
You right now. You are
Dion, this is an issue, right? I don't think the leaders in Minnesota are doing well. I will say this for the record. This team, they haven't healed from the campaign of who defeat Aze. It's where the problem started from. They had to heal from that process. They have to accept it that they are happy. Nothing they can do of it. Except the fact that they were defeated and when I come today, I've been calling in the meeting. Go put that on his own John, never calling. Go put that on my call. He the boat here. And I call on several issues. Several times you haven't responded. I called Jiggy Zawe for Iowa. I called the boat here as it. And I got information from the elders also. That be real here, man, Dion. The chapter plus again, they respect the elders. That be real here. Those were invited. The minister team were invited. No, the Queen Committee. The president of Minnesota. Do you know her position of what in the meeting? This thing about debaters. This thing about 10G. They want to get at 10G. It's not about debaters. The entire team of Minnesota, they're on the show tonight. They want to get us. It's not a quick procedure. The queen have been invited to the meeting. And that thing happened, she would speak for herself. She said no. She referred to the Victor speak to her for her business. On her behalf in the meeting. And the way Victor and they don't spoke in the meeting. The elders have issue with it. Even the people that are talking the show tonight. When the elder actually he had a speak on our meeting behind closed door to come back to the elder and apologize. Have he explained on the show here tonight? He had never. So the issue is Minnesota has accepted the fact the problem for Minnesota is the issue in Minnesota. That they take the responsibility that these things are happening, they are the cause. You want to tell you go to court, you can go to court. But we'll reference them tomorrow. You'll be referring them tomorrow. If that hits on the one, let go ahead. So the issue that Jeffrey McCoskey is the board, the leadership of Minnesota to do better. They have to do better.
Thank you.
That election and election go. Then they heal from that process. Then they go and then they talk with elders, but then they put it down to the elders that we take responsibility for happy. And they can go to the process. And the only thing the elders want for them. Then they take the responsibility for happy they wrong. Then they take that responsibility the president will wrong. The way he address the elders. And they can move ahead. But she refused to put it down to the elders. So she addressed the issue. Has she done it? No. When they come here to bring the executive different, no, but again, that's like you can't say about go to court. As the information are there, they are already going to court to this Friday. They cannot set the rate today. That's why they haven't set the rate for the
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. That will be an issue.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Grace, and thank you, George. Thank you, Siawete, and thank you to all of the panelists who are here tonight for this show. Thank you to our guests for turning out to us well, and thank you to all of the listeners who are also listening to us via Facebook, YouTube, and that of the radio too. I want to say thank you for following. It's been a wonderful conversation. We're going to be here tomorrow with another brand new edition of the Heat Out program. Have a pleasant good night from my end.